Greetings, adventurers. This is Have Dice Will Save, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure where I lead 4 of my friends down dark and terrible paths. Thanks for joining us on this, our first stream. Just a couple of quick descriptions of how we're going to be doing this. We're going to be playing for about 2 hours until about 6. Take a quick 20-minute break so that we can breathe, and then we'll be picking right back up again until probably another hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours later. My name is David. I am the game master here. If everybody at the table would like to say their names for us real quick.
My name is Sherry. I am a hobbit.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I am a half-orc monk.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm playing Emmeline, a half-elf rogue.
And I'm Charlie. I am playing Ivan, the dwarven cleric.
Okay. So, we don't have a lot of announcements yet, but I guess without further ado, everybody take a deep breath. Because here we go. Okay, so we're just going to jump right in. Welcome to Aileron. Some 2,600 years ago, the 6 gods, known as the Divine Conclave, gave up their names to speak this world into being, calling forth life onto its surface. It's a young world, cosmically speaking, but much has changed in the millennia since its creation. The dragons are dead, their great winged forms no longer roaming Aileron's skies, slain when they led a rebellion against their divine masters. Kingdoms have risen, fallen, and been subsumed into greater nations. And the gods of the Divine Conclave dwell among these mortal nations, imparting wisdom and power to their followers, but sworn never to interfere in the matters of mortal politics. Our story begins on Aileron's southern continent of Akosha, where life on this world began, in the largest of Akosha's nations, the Regency of Cadia. It is among the oldest of the world's nations. Its dedication to the Marshal of the Gleaming Blade, the Conclave's god of battle and glory, leading to centuries of militaristic expansion. Its days of grand conquest have passed, though. Its borders are stable, for the last 200 years or so. It is in this time of fragile peace that 4 travelers find themselves in the lakeside town of Adelant. As the sun rises on one of Aileron's holy days, the Day of Eyes, the sacred holiday of the Conclave's goddess of community, family, and love, the Lady with Crimson Eyes. The 4 of you have spent a night of fitful sleep in the Bronze Butterfly Tavern. And as you begin to wake, since it's in the show's name, I need each of you to roll a will save.
Oh my.
Fun.
I do have dice. I think that works out.
You have dice, please save.
Oh, that's a very way to start. Oh.
Yeah.
I rolled bad, but my will's good. That's a 15.
15, okay.
26.
26, excellent.
24.
Okay.
I got a 9.
Excellent. A good range. Okay.
Starting strong, boys. Starting strong.
So I'll
Dice
keep that
will
in
not
mind. It was
save.
26, 24, 9, 15, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But for the moment, as each of you wake, if you would please describe your characters for us. Starting with you.
My character, Tessie, she is a little halfling bard. So she dresses in sturdy but very colorful clothing. She has red hair and she has a number of gold bangles around her wrist and a single gold ring on one of her fingers.
Okay.
The character's Amelie. She's a half-orc monk. She is rocking some dreads. She's seriously rocking some dreads. She is just dressed in regular monk garb, and she stands at about 6'1".
Emmeline is a slight half-elf, kind of more tall for a half-elf, around 5'9" or so. And she has deep auburn hair and a very sharp facial kind of setup. She's also dressed in much nicer clothes to kind of indicate her lineage, her noble lineage.
Ivan is fairly average for a dwarf. Sturdy-looking man, good brown beard. Stands fairly normal height-ish, 4'3", 4'4", somewhere around there. Is from middle part of continent where there is plenty of winter to go around, and as a result wears big long fur coat, fur-lined sealskin, very warm, barely covering his armor beneath, and not covering at all the large bastard sword hanging on hip.
Okay. So, as each of you wake from a night of fitful sleep, you remember a strange dream. Unfamiliar figures. Something about an adventure you went on together. A dark cave. But the details seem to elude you a little bit. For those of you who beat, yeah, you're especially you. It's pretty fuzzy, but you remember some unfamiliar faces. A dwarf, a halfling. For those of you who beat the 20, you remember specifically coming across a small obsidian scale. But that's not important right now because it's the Day of Eyes. As you wake in the upper kind of communal bunk area of the Bronze Butterfly, you can hear already the sounds outside of people bustling in the moderately sized town of Adeland, getting ready for the day's festivities. And perhaps more importantly, you can already smell food cooking from the first floor. It has a rich smell. Being a larger town, the food here can get better than in many of the rural areas of Cadia. And more importantly, they tend to pull out all the stops for a day like today. So what would each of you like to do?
Is there a... What kind of holiday would you say is the kind of closest parallel to what this one is?
It's kind of, depending on where you're from,
Thanksgiving-y
it's kind of like
or
Easter.
Easter? Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a religious ceremony, but it's also got the fun and gamesy kind of feel to it.
Okay.
For instance, if you should peek out the shared upper window from the tavern here, you can already see a little makeshift stage going up in the town center where the children's production will be going on later.
Okay.
So Tessie is going to get up, squeak because she loves the Day of Eyes, start writing in her dream journal her dream.
Okay.
Because she always writes her dreams in her dream journal, especially a dream like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then she will proceed to begin painting her eyes in elaborate scroll work and butterfly, like painting around her eyes, elaborate like scroll work and butterfly patterns for the Day of Eyes.
It is worth noting that, as Tessie already pointed out, it is traditional to paint around one's eyes on the Day of Eyes, specifically for women to paint around their eyes in red, as reverence to the Lady with Crimson Eyes.
I'm going to start the morning with my meditation
Excellent.
and then go down and enjoy some food.
Okay.
Emmeline has a fairly structured routine as she starts her day. Kind of going about just like bathing and stuff like that, just taking care of everything, making sure she looks in prepared, basically. Then she's going to also paint around her eyes as tradition and go looking for some food. Second travel.
I'm gonna sleep until the last possible second and leave only as they are getting out the door.
You will notice that your younger brother Kender seems to also be following the sleep as long as possible plan.
I will take a little package of treats and a container of eye paint into his bag before I head down for breakfast.
Green door halflings. Okay. So as those of you head down, and eventually Kender will get up and head down as well. Real quick, change our music. We have a Tavern playlist. Okay. So as you head down, the smell of the food gets stronger and definitely more pleasant. You can smell meats of a couple of varieties, most notably the spicy scent of sausage coming across. And there's a quiet but slowly growing bustle of people coming in for breakfast. It seems like this spot is fairly popular, at least for the food. You didn't have a whole lot of company up in the second floor, but a few travelers. As you make your way down, let's see. You two had the clearest pictures in your dreams, so roll me perception, please.
Ready?
I get my pen.
Booyah. Listen, go ahead.
24.
24?
19.
Siphon all the luck to that side of the
Yeah.
table.
It's the day of eyes. The women get the look.
Exactly.
Playing a woman.
Yeah, well, you're bad at it. I don't know what to tell you.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not good enough, Paul.
Jeez, Paul.
So, you two both notice each other coming down and notice that the faces seem familiar from your dreams.
Not having remembered anything from these, Emmeline's going to go straight to where the food is and start dealing with that.
Ivan will also seek the food immediately.
Excellent.
Amelie being very reserved, but also not socially adept, will periodically stare at Tessie, but not actually go and talk to her,
Okay.
Read it from across.
basically.
Oh,
So I will look at her, sort of tilt my head, blink a couple of times, then remember I'm a hungry hobbit, and start walking toward the food.
Yeah.
But look for an opening to go sit near her
Sure.
if I can.
And you've got a fair amount of experience with dreams and know that perhaps you just happened to see her coming in last night and the face stuck in your head.
I also travel a lot with the carnivals, so maybe I saw her in a previous town.
Could be anything. And you are a halfling. So, you all go for the food. And it is as good as the smells promised. A large human man looking a little past his prime and a little over his prime in terms of girth. Is that was a weird word to use there.
You cannot ignore his girth.
We'll say in terms of his build, he is a little. There's a little more of him than maybe there needs to be, but graying at the temples, but a pleasant seeming sort of man. He brings out breakfast for each of you, charging three coppers for each of them. I believe it is. Let me double check. I even made an entire price list.
After last time.
How many coppers to a silver or a
10.
gold?
10.
Yes, so
10
three coppers
to
each.
Silver, 10 silvers to a gold.
Okay, so I have a silver. I have 5
So-
silver.
So
So you would have
bring
4
that
silver,
down to
7
4
copper.
silvers, then
Okay.
I've got 10.
Try to tilt your head a little further forward when you're talking, Charlie. Apparently, we're getting a little bit of echoing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was probably because I was facing entirely
That's fair.
sideways and talking
Yeah.
across the entire line of microphones.
These
so.
things happen. Newstream, who dis? Right. So each of you pays 3 coppers. Because it is the Day of Ice, he mentions that if you should happen to come back for dinner, that'll be free, since you stayed the night and paid for your breakfast.
I like this deal.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
So, looking kind of around at some of the other travelers while we're sitting there and eating, obviously Ivan's going to stand out a little bit.
Yep.
Both in armament and in
Stature?
clothing. I was gonna say.
Okay.
Yes, he's definitely not from around here. And while there are quite a few dwarves in the area, he doesn't really look quite like those dwarves.
So either during the meal, if we're at like a communal table, or maybe a little bit afterwards, kind of wander up and just be like, "Excuse me, sir, your sword and kind of general clothing don't seem like they're from the local area. You must have traveled from a ways.
Duh.
Where are you from, if you don't mind I ask?"
Skyv Straya. Is it Straya?
Skavuskil.
Skyv Uskil.
That's far south.
Duh.
What brings you this far north?
Why do you ask?
I'm curious. This is a town that I'm not from, but I'm from the country.
You look familiar.
Do I?
I don't know. Maybe. I
Yes,
can't place it.
she does.
Do you know this woman?
Not no particularly.
Has she been at Carnival?
Well,
Have you been to Carnival?
I just got in yesterday.
Hessie will pull out her journal and.
We
look
have
through.
Carnival. You should come. It's good Carnival.
She was in my dream last night. So whether that means she's been to Carnival before and just showed up in my dream, or whether it means something, it's
You
too
is
early to
dreaming
tell.
of elf ladies.
And her points to the half orc.
You's
And
dreaming of ladies of many
you.
races.
And you.
I am not lady. This does
You
not
are not
follow.
lady.
The pattern has been broken.
But all 3 of you were in my dream last night, and Ivan, you're the only one I actually
Phasing
know.
a little bit.
Huh?
You're phasing a little bit.
I.
Yes.
Granted, I live
You
in a
two
travel-
do seem familiar.
All of you were also in my dream.
Why is everybody else having dreams?
It's just okay,
You
cousin. I
remember
know you.
had
I know
a
you tend to
dream
sleep
and it
well.
was weird, and there were,
I rolled
in it.
very badly.
Yes, you don't remember details, but you remember that it was a strange dream with unfamiliar people in it.
I know you tend to sleep deeply, cousin.
It was one of
You
those-
two is cousins.
Yes.
I do not see resemblance.
There's a story. There's some. It's when you go.
I
down
was
through the family
abandoned
lines-
as a child. That is all.
Oh,
Well, lovely meeting you.
happy
You
day
as
of
well.
eyes.
Happy Day of Eyes. I realize now
Oh,
that
is
I have
that the
forgotten
day?
my eye makeup.
Pull some out of my bag.
Oh, well, thank you.
Always prepared.
I live in a carnival.
That's
I
fair.
always have makeup.
Are you guys setting up for here, or is this?
No. Reaches in, grabs a flyer. Marshall stand. I'm here advertising.
You know, of course, Emmeline, that the Marshall Stand is kind of the secondary spiritual capital of Cadia. It's a large coastal city, north and it'd be the northwest of here, a fair distance.
Yeah.
And it is the home of the Marshal of the Gleaming Blades' primary temple.
Where are you traveling to? What brings you to town?
Was I had I was following some information that was given to me. There was something about this town that I had to investigate.
I accompanied my cousin.
She follows me.
I'm going to flag down the tavern keeper. Pull out a flyer. Is there a place where you could display this by chance?
Oh, well, I suppose I could put it up on the wall here. Takes the flyer.
Thank you.
You notice he talks like he may have been punched in the mouth a few times, like in his prime. Yeah, there might be some like broken teeth and such there. But he takes it over and he takes it to the wall and takes a little tack, puts it up, and then he peers at it and kind of puzzles through everything on it. Good natured, not smart.
Processing.
Right about this time, your brother Kender finally stumbles his way down the stairs. He's got the little burlap sack that he keeps his juggling supplies in, but he's all but dragging it down the stairs with him. Not a morning halfling.
Happy Day of Eyes.
What? Why is it happy?
It's the Day of Eyes.
Yay! But, yeah,
Spoilers
yes,
for it.
it's great. Lots of stories about the lamest goddess.
You watch your tongue.
Fine, yes, the Lady of Crimson Eyes is great
Be
because.
glad Mother isn't here to hear you say that.
Yes, okay, fine. She's good because
You
we're
see
a
what I
family,
deal with.
and our fair is a
This is
community,
every
and
day.
yada,
This is
yada.
all day.
You travel together with them?
Ah,
It's an interesting party of choice.
it pays well.
He's our guard.
Fair enough.
We're,
Are you all
we're
cousins
traveling
as
to
well?
advertise our carnival.
I was asking if they were cousins.
No,
Oh.
he's my brother.
Not everyone who's short is related. I know you're very tall. It might be hard for you to understand that. We're not related.
Those two that are short, they are in fact
We are related.
Yes. He's my brother. He's a dwarf.
Well,
A very nice dwarf, but a dwarf. We are halflings.
well, I am a half orc. She is a half elf, and we are related.
But there's a half there. There's the
Half-
human
half
part there,
everything.
right?
There's a shared human heritage there.
True.
Well, good talk. I'm gonna go eat now. And he wanders off to get food.
I want to get us a head start on the day because I want to track down the information that was given to me. So I'm going to bid everybody else like a good day, and I'm going to go and try and find guards area. The basically house of the city, I guess.
Would you like me to accompany you, cousin?
Oh yeah, if you want.
Just getting towards this quiet.
I'm gonna go and just wander the town, observe the
Sure.
festivities, participate in things.
Okay. So you two are heading out together. You are heading out alone, or are you going with it?
I was going to wait until Kendra was finished eating and start a performance.
Sure.
Do you need me for anything?
Not that I can think of.
Get me if you do.
Okay.
Okay. Kender takes his time eating, so I'll start with everybody else, and then we'll come back to you. Okay. You two, where were you headed?
I wanted to go to the guards town to start investigating the lead that I was given.
Sure. It takes you a couple of minutes of going down through the town, and it's a fairly nice town, as kind of backwoods Cadia goes. it's got some of the nicest landscape of anywhere in the area, are owing mostly to the large lake that is right next to it. So on one side, you can hear the sound of slowly moving water because it's large enough for wind to create small waves. And on the other, you can see the distant shape of the apple orchard that provides Adelin's primary export. They have cider that is famous throughout Cadia. And the town itself is nicely constructed, not like kind of the ramshackle construction that you see in a lot of areas of Cadia further east. They even have a mostly paved, mostly cobblestone main street.
Yeah.
There are a few missing cobblestones that they haven't managed to replace yet, but other than that, it's real nice.
Better than a dirt road.
Yeah. And as you go down the street, you pass by, looks like townsfolk and occasionally someone who is dressed like a traveler, moving up and down, some carrying goods to sell as possibly as part of the celebrations. A few carrying supplies to some place or another where no doubt some festivity is going to be going on. But eventually, you make your way to it's not really a guard post as such, but it's a building where the guards are. You, Amelie, do get a few looks along the way. Most of them notice that you're wearing the monk garb of the Order of the Bladed Palm, which is the only real Cadian order of monks. And those seem confused but accepting. A few don't seem to know what that is, and so eye you with vague suspicion as you pass by. But nobody, accosts you in the streets or anything. So
I'm
there's
used to this, so it's okay.
So you wander into the guard post?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of looking for anybody that will kind of act as a concierge person.
Okay.
Somebody that's in charge of dealing with people.
Sure. So when you walk in, there's one kind of younger looking human man who's sitting at a desk-ish. He's wearing light, sort of kind of scout looking armor. So he's probably a guardsman, but he might be more in like running messages or something along those lines. And he looks up, looks confused because he doesn't recognize you. It seems likely that they don't get bothered by people who are from outside the town very often.
Yeah. This is kind of a more small town, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's large as rural Cadian towns go. It's maybe 1,000, 1,200 people more or less, but it's still a town. Like it's nothing like the cities you're used to.
Yeah.
Where you get tens of thousands of people.
But it's likely that it's a more a lot of the guards will be more familiar with the people there. Okay, so she's going to approach this from that kind of standpoint. So, hi, my name is Emmeline Chauffourier. I'm from Arisgate in the north, and I was...
How'd you get all the way out here?
I've been traveling south based on some information that I've been trying to track down. How do I want to phrase this? There's a group of people that follow a belief, and it's caused trouble in the past, and so I'm trying to find anything that might be related to them. Have you guys had any disappearances, anything out of the usual going on recently? I know there's a lot on with the festivals and things. So
I've heard of. Are you looking for a specific kind of belief?
not a well-known one.
So,
It would be very secretive. Mostly what I'm looking for is a lot of people that traveling together, which unfortunately isn't helpful since festival.
yeah, and we get a fair number of travelers going toward Athelport.
It was a long shot anyway.
You could ask Henry when he comes by.
Who's Henry?
He's captain of the Creed's Guard around here. Henry the Faithful.
It goes in the notes.
That's good. Going in the notes is good. Going in the notes is good, Charlie.
Captain, you said?
Yes, he is captain of the local Creed's Guard regiment. The Creed's Guard, you know, is both an order of champions and the guardsmen who are under their command. They are more or less Cadia's police force.
Okay.
They are collectively called the Creed's Guard, even though only those who take the actual oath of a champion are officially speaking members of the Order of the Creed's Guard.
Gotcha. Okay. When
Those
about
are
will
more
he be back
Creed's
in?
lackeys.
Yes, they get kind of painted with the same brush, even though they don't have paladin powers, basically. What was the question? I'm sorry.
When will he be back in?
We should be back anytime.
Should I just hang around here, or should I come back later in the day?
You'll see him. He'll be around the festival. Big guy on a horse. Can't miss him. Shiny armor.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Miss.
Amelie.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Thank you.
Roll a perception check.
Not
plus-
one roll under 10.
Don't you jinx me, okay?
Yeah. Yet.
Yes. the day is young.
18.
3 rolls
18?
under 5.
18.
He's confused and a little turned on right now.
Oh God.
I'm going to stay very, very quiet and
That's fine.
still.
Well, have a nice day. We're going to leave now.
We just not being aggressive or anything.
Oh, yeah,
It's just, it's like,
I guess you're going to say that as a
This
monk
is-
you have a killer body.
Yes. This is the moment where he learned he's into half-orc monks.
Yes.
cousin, this man disturbs me, and I do not know why.
Well, thank you for your help. We're going to go, I guess, look around the festival for Henry.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Thank you.
So you head out into the town. I will come back to you soon. Ivan,
Scene change.
Yes.
you said you were just kind of wandering. Do you
Yeah.
have any specific sort of thing you were looking for?
Nope.
Just seeing the sights?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Specifically, I guess, things that would truly catch my attention would be games where I get to show off.
Martial things.
Things, yeah, games where I get to show off. Things where I can make a bit of money, or gambling.
Fair. So this early in the day, these sort of kind of more raucous activities that you might be predisposed to as a cleric of the Marshal of the Gleaming Blade haven't really begun yet in most places. As you wander, it's a lot of setting up and a fair amount of... You see a fair amount of mothers shepherding children around to various places as things are getting ready. You would know... You're definitely trained in religion, right?
Yes.
You can make a religion check or a society check, whichever you'd like, to... Because you're not
not
actually
have
from
society.
Cadia, so you don't necessarily know Cadian tradition on this case.
18.
Okay. You would definitely know that as the goddess of family and community. The ladies' holiday is very focused on emphasis on family and the notion of a community as an extended family. So you can see children being shepherded from place to place. And you've heard that in Cadia it is not uncommon for children to almost trick or treat around a community as sort of the next phase of that community's family.
Sure.
And sometimes they'll get treats, or sometimes it's literally just, everybody wants to meet the children because it's about embracing community.
I'm probably not really participating in much at the moment. I'm just I don't really have anything else to do, so I wander in circles looking at things.
If you wander long enough, you will find some like-minded gentlemen who may have begun a drinking contest. In the spirit of community, and or the spirit of being bored.
I come in the second spirit.
Sleeping on the couch.
Yes,
tonight.
and the spirit
In the spirit of community.
if they have wives, they're busy doing things that these men are not interested in.
I will approach these men.
Okay. There's 3 or 4 of them, and they don't really notice you coming up right away until kind of, it must be like the clink of your sword on your armor or something draws one of their glances.
I will also have my shield on my back as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
What are you drinking?
drinking ale.
What kind of ale?
A sale. What's the matter? What kind?
Ah, see now. That is blasphemy to a dwarf, let me tell you.
Okay. You got any dwarfy ale then?
Unfortunately, no. You do not make anything good enough to count up here. But I survive on whatever you have there. Better than you do, I bet.
You're 3 drinks behind. Get going.
You needed the handicap anyway.
Okay, we'll get back to you now. Tessie,
Okay.
it takes Kender probably 10 minutes to finish eating and another 5 minutes to admit that he's finished eating. He's in a mood.
Well, we're here to advertise, we're here to perform, and it's the Day of Eyes. What better day to perform?
Yeah, you've got a point.
Let's go.
So let's just go out there and do the thing.
Find a good spot, do the thing.
He stands up, picks up his bag of juggling supplies, and trots outside after you.
I'm gonna drift outside and look for a good spot where we will be visible but not in anyone's particular way.
Sure. There's a fair amount of space. You could move more toward the town center. It's a little busier there, so you might get kind of overshadowed. But there's also, it's a little busier there, so there's more people.
I'll move a little toward the town center. Try to be near like some of the other games and attractions.
Sure.
So that it looks not quite close enough that we'll be dinged for not being authorized, but close enough that people are in that area looking for stuff.
Sure. And there's a fair number. You can see sort of merchants setting up stalls and things like that. It's got a very festival vibe going, so it shouldn't be difficult to find a spot that will work for you.
All right, here we go. Let's start here. So I'm gonna set up. Would I have any sort of banners or signage or anything?
No, you wouldn't have
Okay.
had enough carrying room for that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Bulk adds up.
Yes. And
Alright.
Kender has less strength than you do.
So I'm going to set up. I'm going to twist the ring on my finger to make the bracelets on my wrist light up and start to glow purple.
Sure. They glow moderately brightly torched kind of level. So you get.
Or no, not purple red. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
It's the Day of Ice.
The Day of Ice.
Yes.
So you get a nice
them
purple,
glow red.
a nice red light going, and people actually, a couple of people just immediately stop and kind of double take, until they realize what you did, and they seem to assume that you just cast a light spell.
Yeah.
And they're like, and keep walking.
Happy Day of Ice, everyone. We're here from
You get a few mostly cheerful like waves and like her gaze upon you.
We're here all the way from the Starstride Fair to enjoy this holiday with you. I'm gonna continue.
You've got a few people's attention. They're not
Setting up.
responding.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Just trying to get attention. Continue setting up. I'm gonna motion for Kendra to start setting up.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take a few bracelets off of my wrist, combine them into a thicker hoop, and stretch them out so that I can fit in the middle.
Okay. You get yourself a halfling-sized ring of red glowing metal.
And I will activate Ghost Sound
Sure.
to start with some festive music. Preferably if there are any sort of songs that are holiday songs for the Day of Ice, it'll cycle through a playlist of those.
Sure. That's fine. You can ghost sound yourself a soundtrack. Kender pulls out his juggling supplies, which are significantly less magical than your Ring of Rings, and starts juggling them.
I'm
He
going to.
seems pretty good at it. It's not his best performance, but it's solid for him.
And to get in the
And-
middle of the ring and start, spinning it around and spinning around inside of it. And if anyone looks up, I think it's Cyrwheel, CYR wheel
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, that's basically what she's doing.
Sure.
She's standing in the middle of a giant hula hoop, spinning it and dancing with it. Huh?
Lean in a little more.
She's basically standing in the middle of
You
a
can hear
giant
me.
hula
It's
hoop,
just
spinning it, dancing inside of it. At some point, she's going to alternate between the sear wheel and pull off a few other bracelets, pull them into roughly the size of a saucer, tea saucer, and start juggling them. And then at another point, she'll pull off some more bracelets and make them hula hoop size, like the size of a halfling size hula hoop, and start balancing multiple regular size hula hoops on her arms and legs and waist all at the same time. Just cycling through those
Sure.
those things and some basic acrobatic flips and stuff.
Cool. So give me a performance check, please.
Yep.
Remember that your Ring of Rings is giving you a +1.
Oh yes, I forgot. Oh, and they will have put up a locked box with a slit in the top
Yes, that is what the
for
performance check is.
for donations. 11, 17, 18.
Okay. Total of 18. You do manage to get a few people to drop coppers in as they pass by. And perhaps more importantly, you do manage to get a few people to take flyers
Yeah,
as
oh,
they
yes.
walk by.
That's a good point. She will also have some flyers. I'm thinking that the box has like a rack on the top of it where she can tuck flyers in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a purpose-made kind of device for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes pretty well. You
Or
get a
maybe
few
like
coppers.
a pocket in the side where she can tuck
Sure.
flyers.
Either way,
Yeah.
it works. And your performance goes on for as long as you would like it to. We will come back to
Yep.
you. Let's see.
That's why I named what she would be
contest
cycling
that's
through,
come.
so that it's like you just
Yes.
assume that this is what Tessie's doing in a cycle that makes sense to it for a performance routine.
So how are the cousins killing time until Hendry appears?
Amelie, have you ever seen a festival before?
No, the monks sometimes had celebrations, but they didn't have all of the paper in the air.
Oh, we should go at least look at it a little bit.
Okay, I would like that very much, cousin.
As the morning starts to progress toward afternoon, or toward noon anyway, and people have gotten more set up. You can hear the sound shift from the clacking of of wood and occasional like constructed elements being brought out to the sounds of people actually beginning to actively celebrate. Music starts to waft up and down the main street, some of them from certain halflings ghost sound spells. But, you get a couple of others, a fair number of singers, or sometimes not even just singers so much as people singing. It's clear they're not attempting to do it professionally, it's just going with the atmosphere. The quiet rumble of people talking grows when you head more toward the town center.
Will we actually see their show going on?
You can, certainly. Make a perception check. Roll not terrible and you'll see them.
I got my first roll over 10.
Yeah.
I got my first roll under 10.
The curse is breaking.
You jinxed me, Paul!
That's all the luck. 16.
16? Okay.
6.
Well, Emmeline sees them anyway. Amelie hears a ghost sound spell going.
The festival is very distracting.
Well, I mean,
Very distracting.
there's people who are much taller than halflings, and they seem to be getting in the way of you being able to notice them.
You're
You know
also much taller than a halfling, so.
True. You know what adds insult to injury to this roll, though? You were above me by exactly 10.
Yes. you would have critically hit her if that were a DC.
The curse of 10 is broken. Okay. So, can I roll like a society check? Kind of scoping out kind of the festival and seeing where the more active portions of it are, and also where the more seedier portions might be.
Sure. Yeah, society would definitely work for that.
Sweet. I'm very distracted by a festival. That's 10.
How's that luck going, Paul?
I lied. The curse is not broken.
The curse was momentarily sated and has now come for the second course.
Let's just roll 3 times and see what happens. Oh, that one's decent. That's a good roll. Okay, I'm not gonna roll that.
Stop burning them.
I'm gonna roll to see if I can find
Sorry, 1 second. At a 10, obviously the town center is going to be most active. One might assume that for seedier things, you would go toward alleyways and things like that. The construction here isn't that dense necessarily, though, so you might not have a lot of alleyways to work with. Because of the fact that there's just a lot of empty space around Adeland. You've got the orchards off in the distance, but beyond that, it's mostly flat grassland.
Yeah.
And you get farms, but none of them that are kind of right against the city, so they were able to spread out.
Okay.
Can I roll a perception to see if I can find Henry?
You can certainly look.
I mean, the dude's up on a horse.
Yeah.
That is a 12.
12. You do not see anyone on a horse just yet.
Okay.
So I guess in the meantime, we just kind of see the site.
Sure.
And I enjoy my first festival.
It would be a very interesting experience for you. Having spent virtually your entire life in the monastery, you haven't necessarily seen people doing things solely for joy in this way. The monks have a certain amount of, entertainment that they do for fun, but they don't really do anything for the kind of elation that you see children running around having, and people engaging in, the festival activities. So it's interesting, though perhaps isolating in a certain way.
I love how the music also, right as you were explaining that, turned really,
Totally meant
really
that to
somber.
happen.
And I'm
Wasn't
like, oh
my
my
luck
god,
at all.
this is perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
So we will come back to you two. Ivan.
Yes.
Roll some fortitude saves.
Drinking time.
Okay, 1 second. Let me borrow your d20, Shay.
Yeah.
You have 3 opponents.
Okay.
Here.
Roll your first fortitude save. DC of, we'll say 10.
Okay. That's a 1.
Okay. You feel that first round hit you.
I did roll a fortitude save before that. That was better. When you said roll a fortitude save.
Okay, what was the
It was
the
a
original one?
4.
It was a
But
4.
the final result was
I got a 4, guys.
No, 11.
Okay.
So.
I won't cause the one to immediately knock you out of the contest. Then.
Handicapped anyway.
One of them does, in fact, take the next round to the face and pass out cold. He was the smallest of them. Clearly the least experienced drinker among them. Yours, it hits you, but it's not too bad. It's got a little bit more of a kick than you might have expected from human ale. But you're okay. Next guy over looks like he's a little bit queasy, but okay. And then the third human, he takes it like a champ. And the next round.
15.
Okay. In this case, the one who had trouble on the last round powers through it no problem. And the one who took last round seems to get a little bit stunned. You feel like you just barely managed to keep this round together.
Okay.
And the next one. Okay.
21.
21. Once again, you feel like you have this one solidly. Guy who was good on the first round and bad on the second, not so good on the third, he falls flat. You can also feel like you can tell that you're drinking cheaper ale now that you're like honestly about 5 rounds into it because they made you catch up. But you've still got one guy and he takes it very well.
That's a natural 20.
And that is not anything good for him. You grab the glass and you power it down, and you watch him grab the glass and he gets it about to his face and then just kind of slumps forward. So you grab that glass too and power it down. And you've won, which gets you like 6 copper. It wasn't a high.
I wasn't doing it for the money.
And some free booze.
I can't remember how much you said we earned.
It didn't say because
gotcha.
you're still in the show and haven't had time to unlock the box and
I
check.
couldn't remember if you said we earned it. All right, I will not worry about writing down what I don't actually know.
Fair enough.
I just thought I had missed it in the conversation and forgot to write it down.
Okay. Speaking of, we can wander back to you real quick. How long do you intend to keep doing your show? It is clear that after a couple of hours, Kender is getting over it for the moment, but he'll keep going if you make him.
Honestly, probably only a couple of hours.
Sure.
Because then we'll break for a while to see what the town has planned.
Sure. Real quick, make one more performance check for me.
24.
24. Okay. So as you get through the last of your performance, there's a fair amount of foot traffic as things pick up in the festival. And as you get through the end of it, you get a second to check your box and find that there looks like there's about a silver worth of copper in there.
Sweet.
Maybe 12 copper or so. And then you wander in toward the festival proper. Well, you're kind of there already, but
Yeah.
yeah. But you do get the chance as you're getting near the end of your show to see that the children's pageant production, totally amateur play, whatever you want to call it, looks like they're getting near the end of setting that up.
I'm gonna wander around, but I'm gonna stay close to the stage because I really want to watch that.
Okay.
That's the best part of the Day of Eyes.
In your family, the children's production has a lot more flair than you feel like is likely to happen here. But
yeah, but A for effort, you know?
Yes. And they are children.
Yes.
And human children are kind of like halflings.
Yes, it's adorable. And I want to support possible future artists and kids who have no talent but try their hearts out. So I'm going to wander around in the vicinity of the stage and look for places where I can just sort of clandestinely tuck flyers like into people's baskets or stuck to the sides of things, or just stuff where it looks like someone just dropped it.
Sure.
Or someone will look at it and think, I don't remember picking this up, I must have grabbed it somewhere.
Give me your choice of stealth or thievery.
Oh, they are equal.
Okay.
I'm going to give you thievery because
It
I don't
sounds
know when
better.
I'll never, I don't know when I'll get to use that again because she's not really much for stealing. 15.
Okay. You manage to, you think, pull off the notion that so many people just took these flyers and accidentally dropped them. It's insane how many people wanted these flyers so much and then tripped or something. It definitely seems believable.
Just trying to leave it where the most people can see it.
Sure.
But without, getting in trouble for actually handing out flyers without a permit.
Right. You don't really sense that there's necessarily a permit structure here in Adeland. When you've played to Athelport, or like you've never personally been to the Marshal Stand, but your family certainly has, and there's definitely permits there. And you did go to Erisgate once, and they basically made you sign away your lives to get to put on productions there. But out here in the boonies, it's a little more relaxed.
Better safe than sorry, though.
Yeah, never hurts.
Also, it's fun.
Yes. And it's more convincing than if you were just like tacking them to walls. People might be like, oh, someone, people actually gave a crap. Okay. So until the children's production starts, we'll come back to you then. And that brings us back to the cousins. Right about now, I guess roll perceptions for me again,
Team Matthew.
in case you are
That is a nat
hilariously-
20.
Okay.
I need to change dice.
You have that option.
Mine.
10, you said?
Yeah.
That's enough. It was literally, are you so overwhelmed by this experience that you don't notice the knight on a horse white riding into town? You see him way off. Emmeline, it takes you a little while longer to notice, but it's a big armored man on a horse, so it's not exactly the hardest target. But yeah, you see a fairly large looking man, and your 20 is so good that even at a significant distance you can tell he's a human. He's probably well into middle-aged, maybe pushing 60. He's got sandy colored hair that has largely started to gray, such that you can only really tell that it was probably originally some version of blonde or sandy brown toward the roots. And as he gets closer, you can pick out a few scars that show, even with the armor, one kind of down along the side of his face that suggests that this guy has definitely seen some fighting. He's not just on a horse for show. And he carries, he wears shining silver armor with blue trim, the colors of the martial end of Cadia, and
very fancy.
carries a practical-looking bastard sword. Definitely not one designed for show. This is a weapon for use, as well as a large steel shield on his back. And a great sword is also sheathed along the side of his horse. in case he needs to run some fools down.
Greatly.
Yes. So that's what you see coming up toward the center of town. And eventually you also see this.
Does it look like he's kind of in the middle of doing something, or is he just kind of like idly patrolling?
It looks like he's coming back from patrol. Chances are he was out on the roads and is just coming back. It doesn't look like he's on, any kind of like desperate mission right now.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know if he was like kind of accosted by festival goers or stuff like that.
There are a few people who wave to him in recognition, and call out greetings and, happy day of eyes and her gaze upon you and things like that. But nobody seems to be engaging with him directly.
Okay. And on one hand, I kind of want to talk to him, but on the other hand, it feels like it would be difficult to have a going conversation in the festival.
Cousin, is that the man you wish to speak to?
It's the one that we were looking for, yeah.
Would you like me to flag him down?
Let's go talk.
Okay.
We'll go over there.
Sure. Unless you kind of put yourself directly in his path, he's not going to stop. Unless you sort of indicate that he should.
Yeah, I'll call out to him, like, Captain Henry, may I speak to you for a minute?
I suppose.
My name is Emmeline Chauffalier. I'm from out of town. I had spoken to one of your guards at the post a few moments ago, and I had expressed concern about there's a secret religious order that I think may be hiding here. They have information that points to maybe them being here. I wanted to warn the guards, but also see if there was any information, odd happenings, whispers, anything out of sorts in the past week or so. Couple weeks.
Nothing out of the ordinary. But if anything should come to my attention, what sort of religious order did you say this was?
It's a very secretive one. I haven't found much of their presence outside of Arasgate, but I had information that pointed that maybe the
Northern cults, then.
Yeah.
From the Wildlands.
Potentially.
Rare that anything from the Northern Wildlands gets this far south.
That's fair.
You can tell he's a little skeptical. By nature, it looks like. But he's not dismissive.
Okay. But he also doesn't have anything that's directly helpful.
Lady Chevalier, was it?
Yes.
Perhaps, if you have a few moments, you could stop by the post again and give a recount of whatever information you have on this order.
Okay. Most of what I have is whispers.
Whispers it is, then.
Thank you, sir, for your assistance.
Oh. Yeah, yes, of course.
This is my cousin Amelie. She travels with me.
Naturally. He actually stops, looks between you for a moment. I do see the resemblance. If you want to make perception checks. Yeah.
Sure. That's a natural 20.
What?
You are on this today.
I got 11.
11. You feel like he's on the level. It's hard to tell for sure.
Okay.
He is 100% sincere. He is shocked that he sees a family resemblance between you.
My hope is that this luck keeps up when we're actually like fighting things.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's not.
Don't you jinx me again, Paul.
Don't hold your breath, but we'll see.
See, I put it down and now it's a 4. Thanks, Paul.
You didn't roll
Thanks.
it. You put it down. There's a big difference.
See, now
It'll
it's a
be fine.
2.
It'll be fine. Well then, whenever is...
Did you just roll another 20 to test it out, Morgan?
I'm confiscating my dice set back. I need those dice.
We're fucking switching.
Right. So, if whenever is convenient for you, I suppose.
I don't have much going on now. If you're headed that way.
Certainly. And he gets down off his horse because it is impolite to ride alongside a lady. You definitely detect the accent of Marshall's stand in his voice. It doesn't have the sort of rolling R tones that you get up toward Erisgate, but he definitely was trained for quite some time among the nobility of Marshall's stand. And while he doesn't necessarily have noble bearing himself, he can pass off as one now and again.
Yeah. And at least he knows kind of general etiquette.
Yeah. And so he walks with his horse along back to the guard post.
Nice.
How much information are you giving him?
I want to basically give everything that the guards in Erisgate have, and maybe a lot of the scribblings from my uncle's journal on the actions of this cult. I'm not going to mention too much about what happened with my family.
Sure. Are you saying the name?
Which, do I have?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned the Bramble Man.
Mentioned the Bramble Man.
Okay. Okay. So he spends some time talking with you on that. Now you don't know much about the Bramble Man beyond that he is related to this cult and appears to be the figure of their worship. And the Erisgate guards didn't have a huge amount of information either. It seems like your family was probably the first instance in which they encountered it.
Okay.
And so it takes some time for you to fill out this report. He thanks you politely and then doesn't quite shuffle you off, but seems like he has duties, or at least the feeling of duties, that he has to get to.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Okay. He does seem a little perplexed by the information along the way, though.
Yeah.
Right. So, right about now is when the children's pageant will begin. Does anybody not have any interest in seeing the children's pageant?
I'm probably at this point going to go find them.
Sure.
So I likely will be in that area simply because I'll be wandering around trying to find where my little halfling buddies went.
Your little halfling buddies. They're pals.
Okay.
The Shorty Squad.
Shorty squad.
That's how you get stabbed, Morgan.
You know what halflings are great at being? Rogues. You know what rogues are great at doing? Stabbing orcs.
I have a racial hatred for orcs.
You're just mad because we're super tall.
Yes. We have a racial hatred for giants too.
All the tall
There
things.
might be a pattern
There's
here.
a pattern, yes.
Okay.
Racial
So-
hatred, tall things.
So as you gather into the center of town again, you obviously find Kender and Tessie, and you happen upon the center of town again as you leave the guard's post. You see the children coming up onto the little makeshift platform that's sort of been built on top of what's probably kind of a combination fountain well system that's going on in the center of town. It's not a particularly fancy fountain, but it looks like, it's got a pumping kind of system. And when you pump the water, you can pump it to sort of fly up out of a roughly hewn statue's mouth. That's kind of cool. But around that, sort of in front of that, there's kind of a water catching pool that the platform has been laid down across.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a series of children who are standing now on top of the platform there in a series of costumes. You notice that there's one human girl who has prominent red eye makeup around her eyes, one young dwarf boy who is carrying a sword. It looks like it's been painted gray and then maybe had like some iron filings put into the paint to create the best they could do it metallic. But it's it's a big sword and they tried to make it look shining. And then a smaller form. You can't tell what race or ancestry it might be because it is covered completely in a black cloak. It's more like a black tarp, really, and it's also more like a dark ash gray tarp, but they do the best they can. And then across the stage, there are a couple of others. One sort of human-looking child who possibly some kind of part elf. It's hard to tell. The features are a little bit more sharp than you might expect from a human child's. But there's not much point to the ears. It would have been a few generations back at least. But their skin seems to have had a little bit of sort of copperish makeup added to it. And they've got sort of a wooden frame attached to their back with like burlap draped over it and the suggestion of wings. Next to them is a young halfling boy with roughly shaped clay horns attached to his head on sort of a headband. And then you've got probably the biggest boy in town they could find, with little fake tusks. And as the play begins, everybody claps for this collection of children. And another two young children walk out onto the stage to join this tableau. And they are clearly dressed as sort of Cadian nationals. They've got the silver, which is more gray in this case because the quality of local dyeing not the best, and bluish of the Cadian colors, and they're both carrying stick swords, and they walk out, and the one says, "Ah, the gods have defeated the dragon rebellion," and all the children on the stage cheer except for the three on the side.
Ivan will cheer as well.
Yes, and there comes up a cheer from the crowd. Excellent. Now we must take back our land from the dragon's allies who took it from us. And then they chase after the three, and there's this little, totally jerkily choreographed fight scene, and all three of them get knocked down. And
Oh.
Chief the
Yeah.
tiefling orc.
and the Asimar.
I'll lean over to the halflings as we go. I'd like any play with stabbing.
You feel like you could educate them on proper sword form.
The leaning makes me stumble a little bit.
They're like 6.
They learn early. It's good.
Anyway,
We'll be good guardsmen. Chase the orcs. Yes.
the child playing the
I'd say
marshal
nothing.
clearly steps forward with his sword square in front of him and looks down at the 3 who have been defeated but still lie moving and say, we should kill the enemy of us gods. And the 2 Cadians look up and say, yeah!
Da!
And
Ivan's very engaged in this play.
it could be the morning of drinking that he's been doing.
That might have something to do with it. He's supportive of the children.
And then the cloaked figure leaps out and spreads out this cloak, which is actually quite a bit longer than it initially looked. It seems like most likely they were holding a fair amount of it under there with them, and then they spread it out, and it actually covers almost entirely the 3 fallen orc and tiefling and Asimar. And without a sound, this child just stands there, arms spread to the sides. It looks like maybe it's an elf or a half-elf kid. You can't see a face, obviously, but the build has that kind of willowy elven features. And the martial child looks surprised and steps back for a moment, and then raises his sword as though ready to fight a fellow god. But then the red-eyed child steps forward and says, friends, surely we cannot fight each other, for then how will the mortal world survive? It is us that maintains this planet. If we were to go to war, all the mortals would die regardless. Let us instead agree that we will not kill the offspring of those who rose with the dragons against us. It is not their fault that their ancestors allied with our traitorous creations. And both figures turn, and they seem to try to look like they're pondering this, and do about as well as one would expect children to do. And
They
then they
approximate.
nod.
Seems reasonable.
Good. Then we will give our final edict that no genocide of mortal races may occur, and that we gods will never again interfere in mortal affairs. And she pronounces affairs as though it's a word that she learned specifically for this part. And then the crowd cheers, because clearly this is the part where they're supposed to cheer.
Yay!
Hey.
Amelie has a secret smile during that whole speech.
Yes.
Secret smile.
They're
And
not getting murdered.
Yay!
no murdering is occurring during the making of this play. And then the god, the lady performer and the one performing that which walks in silence both lean down and help up the fallen Asimar and tiefling and orc. And then they all take a bow and they shuffle back off stage to more elated applause, probably from parents of these children.
Yes.
Everybody else has stopped paying attention to
And,
this.
And
play.
I-
from a
and
tiny
Ivan.
halfling.
Yes.
So she's like squeeing and applauding and because kids.
Yes. It's not the worst children's performance you've ever seen.
Squeak. Huh?
It's not even as bad as some of the children in your family have been at various times. Kender at that age wasn't a great performer. Kender at this age, better than these kids anyway.
Kinder at that age probably played a tree.
Yeah. Or maybe he played That Which Walks in Silence.
Yeah.
Because, no lines and just gotta stick your arms out.
Yeah.
This, you especially, Tessie, would know this is one of several stories featuring the lady that are told traditionally on the Day of Eyes. And which story gets told often depends on which one whoever is directing the production feels like telling. And this is a shorter playlist than I remember being on this. And it.
Yay.
Cool. It's a work in progress, guys. I promise. So, as the party or the production ends, what would you all like to do with the rest of your afternoon? We'll say.
I wish to stay and enjoy what I can of the festivities.
Okay.
Since this is my first festival.
I'm gonna also wander around and enjoy the festivities since I'm drunk.
Sounds good. We're about halfway through the day. Make a fortitude save over there.
Is that just
9.
Ivan because he's drunk?
Not getting any less drunk.
I might look to see if there's any more drinks around.
Yeah, 'cause
Sure.
he's
Sorry.
falling
Yeah.
down drunk.
Yes, no, that was specifically for Ivan.
It took me a minute too.
Okay, so yeah, you don't seem to be getting any less drunk. If you wish to pursue alcohol, there is now
I rolled a 16.
more ready access to alcohol in sort of a lunch, post-lunch kind of world. Speaking of which,
Food.
there is food.
I'm gonna go find food actually.
Yes.
That sounds pretty good.
There is food.
That's the actual reason.
hungry
for the
halfling
fortitude
is
save.
going to
You
find
guys ate the
carnival.
food.
Excellent. You can find carnival food. Sadly, because it's early spring still, it is difficult to find much of the apple dishes that Adeland is famous for, because, the apples are currently little tiny flowers on trees.
You can totally find traditional Day of Eyes food.
Yes, you can definitely find traditional Day of Eyes food, which often is sort of, hearty, not, moving past winter kind of fare. A lot of sort of baked goods and some good solid pies, meat pies, and that sort of thing.
I imagine that, similarly to Easter, there might be,
And-
those wreaths
Finest
of bread
pies in
with
London.
the boiled eggs dispersed in them because it kind of has an eye theme going on.
I hadn't thought of that. That sounds fantastic.
Egg bread.
Yes. And
Aye.
they do have the one apple dish that lasts great all the way through the winter. And that's when you ferment it. There is apple cider left, right, and center in various degrees of hardness, we'll say.
I will find some fairly mild cider, the ones that you would give to, the teenagers.
Oh, I'm finding some apple cider.
Okay.
Yep.
For eating in the afternoon, if you want to kind of get everything, it's probably going to cost you about 4 or 5 copper.
Okay.
If you just want some food and something to drink, it's like 3 copper.
I'm going around. I'm getting a lot of stuff.
Okay,
I just won a bunch of copper.
that's fair.
Yep, I'm just going to go around and get some of everything. It's
Sure.
the Day of Eyes.
I'm gonna go
And
right in the
I'm
middle.
a halfling, so
Mm-hmm.
holiday food is one of the highlights.
Seems like a plan.
I definitely like the apple cider.
Yes.
I've probably never had it before.
It's pretty.
I've
Yeah,
probably never had a lot of
you've-
the stuff here before.
You've actually never
In the
laid
frozen
eyes
south-
upon an apple before.
In the frozen south, we don't have a lot of
Yes.
growing things.
You have never seen an apple.
Not gonna lie, she may have set up the show first so that you would have spending money
That's fair.
for the carnival foods.
Yes, you get potatoes, and that's about it.
We get potato. We get things distilled from potato.
Yes, and then you get fish. And if you're desperate enough, things that ferment from fish.
Cousin, what is cider?
It's a beverage. You should have some.
So you take apple juice and you ferment it until it's alcoholic.
What is apple juice?
You take an apple and you juice it.
I see.
I wander up with a glass of cider and some kind of pastry in my hand and just go like, I don't know what it is, but it's very good.
It's good. Try it. Just tell the vendor how drunk you want to be, and that'll determine what strength you get.
Make sure you stay square to your leg.
I don't believe I've ever been drunk.
Then you might want to go for the
Hardest
cider.
one you can find. We will change this. Stop.
Then I would say go for the kid cider or the mild cider.
Isn't the kid cider only for kids?
No,
I see.
it doesn't have any alcohol in it.
I see.
The mild cider.
Definitely does. Nothing not fermented would have made it this long.
It barely has
It
any alcohol
doesn't have a
in
lot.
it.
You are correct.
The mild cider only has a tiny. The kid cider just barely has any alcohol in it. The mild cider has a tiny bit more.
Okay. I will try the kid cider.
Okay. You get some apple cider. It tastes,
Ha.
tastes like slightly fermented apple cider. It's sweet, probably sweeter than most things you are used to eating, but it's pleasant. There's a little bit of spice to it, maybe some kind of like nutmeg or something like that worked in there, and it's quite nice.
Just a reminder to the audience, drinking ages didn't exist.
Yes, there is no such thing as a drinking age in this world. There is a getting drunk age, which is however old you have to be before your parents will stop hitting you for getting drunk.
Yes. Kender is very familiar
Kendra is
with
very
that.
familiar with the getting drunk age.
Ivan is too. It's always. It's just.
the dwarven getting drunk age is 0.
He was an orphan, raised by a criminal gang. Yeah, he's experienced.
So how much cider are you planning to drink?
1 or 2 cups.
Okay.
You know, not a whole lot.
So you'll
I
be fine. You don't even need to make a fortitude
I basically just wanted to try it.
against that. That's fine. Yeah. It's nice. It's pleasant. The monks do have occasionally like wines and things like that there, so it's not like you've never had alcohol before.
Okay.
Because being from the Marshals' home territory, occasional, we'll call it enthusiastic indulgence is part of their religious observance. But
I'm good at that part.
Really? I never would have guessed, you know?
So I'll also probably be getting adult cider. and
okay,
Not an insignificant amount. Not like getting drunk, but
sure. Yeah,
the festival.
make a fortitude save with a DC of like 8.
Okay, that's the thing. You just don't roll in the tray, and it all works out. 25.
Oh Jesus! You are a noble. You were raised on wine since birth. This has got nothing on you.
Yeah.
Whiskey on the pacifier keeps the baby calm.
No whiskey. That is far too base for her.
Depends on how good the
family.
whiskey. That's a 60-year scotch on the pacifier. That's it.
That would be fine. Okay, so yeah, you handle that without any problems.
Yeah.
Let me also have you make a perception check for me.
As we now learned, not in the tray. It didn't work.
Randomness might be random, Paul.
No,
12, you said?
not random. It's chance.
Paul is praying to RN Jesus.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah, 12.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
To get stabbed.
You do not feel yourself get stabbed. Whether it happens or not is hard to say, but you don't feel it.
Oh god.
Well, you don't feel it yet.
I roll a stealth check on my staff so that they don't notice.
It's extra stealthy. So, are you drinking much cider?
Just a couple of glasses of kid cider.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. How much cider are you drinking?
I'm drinking cider.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fortitude check.
He's drinking
Yeah.
dwarf cider. A dwarf amount of dwarf cider.
15.
15. Yeah, you're fine. It's.
I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm no longer in like the drinking contest, so I'm going for the like steady maintain level, which
Sure.
is heavy drinking, but
Right.
it's I'm not just pounding them back nonstop.
Yeah, you managed to keep your alcohol, no problem. Okay. So after lunch, there are a number of things you could do with some time. Perhaps there are a few sort of festival games and things one might participate with. Or you could just kind of wander the town and enjoy it. There's a few more sort of singers and musicians that I've set up around.
What kind of games do they have?
A lot of them are kind of either your dexterity kinds of games, horseshoes sorts of things, or sort of social parlor gamey sorts of things. It looks like a few people may be setting up what it seems like eventually will become a sort of town dance in the center of town, where once the platform has been broken down around that fountain, a few people are getting a head start on what is likely to be later a kind of community dance, which is traditional, for it often happens for a town to come together for something like a dance or something along those lines.
Yeah.
In far in the south, there's nothing so joyous as dancing going on the Day of Eyes. When the community gets together, it's to drink a bunch, and usually to tell the gnarliest story one has. But community.
I would like to listen to the stories.
Oh, I'm sorry, saying the dwarves tell stories rather.
Oh,
You can. There are people telling stories here, though. You can
Ivan, I'd like to listen to
overhear
your
some
stories.
I'm going to wander until I either see a game that looks kind of like particularly fun, probably something either strength or sword related,
Really?
or someone like another dwarf telling stories that I can boast
Okay.
to.
Sure. You can find a more or less log tossing sort of game. Yeah, it's done with, rather than like full logs, it's done with like framing beams. Though you can tell if you look at these that it seems like these are beams that have some kind of flaw that makes them unusable for proper construction. You'll notice splits in the wood or spots that have rotted out too much to be structurally sound. So it seems they save them to throw them. Would you like to throw them?
Yes.
Okay. Roll athletics for me, please.
I am now also very happy with the change that if I meet the strength score for armor, it no longer gives me a negative to my athletics.
Yes. That is one of the excellent changes from Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
17.
17. Yeah, you managed to get some decent distance on one of these things. I'm going to make a quick roll over here to see how you do relative to others. Yeah, you outclass any of the humans that are participating in this.
He is strong boy.
He is.
May I
he's
try this game
strong,
too?
athletic. Yeah, absolutely. Athletics for you.
Ah.
Oh.
Orc
Can I-
steps up to play.
Does it hit my hand? Can
Yeah, we'll call it good this time. Don't make a habit of it. That's why we have trays,
Okay.
people.
I?
Trays dislike me though.
That doesn't matter. It's not real. It's in your head.
It's a 20
20?
with my strength score. So 16
Yeah.
plus my strength score.
Right. Well, plus your athletics. I believe you
Oh.
are trained in athletics.
Yes,
so
I am. Oh, plus 7.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's 23.
that sounds good. You train in acrobatics too? I don't remember.
Yes.
Roll that for me real quick as well. Let's see if we can add some style.
It's a 5.
Okay, not so much with the style. You
was
think
just
seriously about adding some high quality monastic flair to this performance, and you start in and you feel the weight of the beam pull you down a little more than you had expected it to. You're like, nah, never mind, and you just fling the thing, and it goes. You easily go half again. The next nearest humanoid. You get next nearest human related, I should say. You get past Ivan's definitely, not quite as far as the others, but you clear him with some room to spare. And this is the first time in a while you've seen someone who is clearly stronger than you are.
That's it. We are wrestle. Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
I find a flat table. Whether or
There
not
are
there are
flat
people at
tables.
it, I find one.
There are people at it until a half orc comes lumbering over with a dwarf looking determined.
We need to arm wrestle.
Okay.
It is required.
That's going to be contested athletics.
Would it not just be straight strength?
No. This is a contest of athletics.
Wow.
25.
Yeah, I got 15.
Total 15?
Yes.
Okay. You get down there. You have never arm wrestled in your life.
Okay.
That is not a thing monks do. And you get down there and he's weird and short. And you've got all the leverage advantages here. And in 2 seconds, it just goes whomp.
Ha ha.
I like her. I like her. Come, let's drink more.
Okay.
I'm just sticking with her now.
Sounds good. Emmeline, if you would roll me another perception check, please.
Yeah. Oh my god, I actually can see for once. It's no longer morning. 23.
23? Okay. You, as you're walking, all of a sudden you notice that something has been added to one of the pockets in one of your garments.
One of my garments.
Yes.
Okay. That's spooky.
Is it blood?
It's just one of Tessie's posters.
Yeah.
Why do I keep finding these?
Well, a lot of people tend to drop them, cousin. Is that what
Ivan
it says?
is also going to keep an eye out for a largish hunk of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere that he can just find that.
By hunk, do you mean firewood sized or construction beam sized?
I mean, probably something maybe foot and a half, something like.
Oh, piece of wood. Okay.
Yeah.
For carving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some not like a little handheld whittle thing, like a larger thing.
Yeah.
But he's going to start doing some work on it. He wants to make a large thing, so
Sure.
and he's gonna start probably after everything ends.
Okay. Roll perception for him.
Okay. That's a 25.
Okay.
Something
Yeah.
unattended, not that he needs to buy, just
Yeah,
lump of
there's-
wood on the side,
you-
on the woods.
With a little bit of time, you'll see, and you have to kind of wander more toward the edge of town. But there's what looks like maybe a chunk of a stump that somebody dug up a little
Okay.
while ago, and it's dried out. So it hasn't rotted or anything. So that's lucky for you.
When I see it, I'll turn to Amelie and be like, Like, oh no, hold on, wait here. I go and I pick it up, and I lumber it back over to the inn, and I put it in my room next to my stuff,
Okay.
and go back out.
Remember that you didn't really have a room as such, but you did have a bed space for the night.
Yes.
So you can stick it kind of next to it,
It's
just so
just-
nobody messes
yeah.
with it. And honestly, who would mess with a random?
It's a
giant
random piece of wood.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you make things out of wood?
When bored,
What do you make?
whatever I want.
Like what?
I'm going to make cider jug.
Seems reasonable.
Okay. Yeah, you get that back there without trouble.
So wandering around town, what time of day is it?
It's getting toward late afternoon.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
was the wood apple wood?
Yes.
Ivan doesn't know this.
Yes.
Just for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you had like nature and stuff, we could discuss
Yeah,
kind of
Ivan
why
doesn't
the
know,
applewood
nor
is
did he
there
really
and
think of
yada,
it.
yada, but no. But yes, it is applewood.
Cool.
So yeah, you're getting toward late afternoon. Roll me another fortitude save over there. Not you. As you get silent stabbed from 3 hours ago.
That is a 21.
Yep, buzz is wearing off.
I need more cider.
Spend another 2 copper.
In fact, do they have any other like interesting drinks around, or is it just like standard drinks and cider?
More or less, it's that. There's a couple of varieties of cider that you might be interested in trying. Some that are like heavily spiced
Oh yeah, then I'll try different kinds.
and things
He's,
like that.
He's definitely looking to experience and find new
Yeah.
and interesting things.
There is one that's really odd and interesting that has some kind of like toasted walnut flavor to it, where it seems like they literally took toasted walnuts at some point during the winter and just kind of shoved them in there and saw what happened, and it turns out makes it taste a little oddly nutty.
I'll try that one.
Would you like me to accompany you for drinks?
Come, we drink.
Okay.
This can only end well. How much are you drinking, Amelie?
And do you get the same drinks that I get?
I would like to try, yes.
Okay, spend 2 copper as well,
Okay.
and then roll me a fortitude save for both of you.
Well, I just rolled mine.
Yes. Well, no, you roll 1 for adding new alcohol to make sure that you don't add so much that you fall over.
25.
Sounds good.
Ah, can I?
Use the
No.
tray.
No.
There's a whole tray for this.
But I was
it
getting
cocked
good
or
rolls.
something? What happened?
It
was
rolled on,
here,
and then it
Yes.
rolled off my paper.
You may re-roll it. As you,
No
as long
matter
as
whatever
you
happens,
use
if it lands on a
the
flat number,
tray.
just use that number.
Okay.
It was 5,
It was 3. 10 and
17.
17.
17. Okay. You managed to handle your alcohol fairly well. And
Yay.
please use the trays. That's why we have them.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was doing so well without them.
I understand that. But you might find that the trays actually
And if
have
you
nothing
don't,
to do with how well
you
you
don't,
roll.
the only way you get to re-roll something is if it's like cocked
it's
like
cocked
that.
and
If
things
it
like that.
lands
Yeah.
like there or something, and you're like, I don't know what that is, then sure.
Right.
You know, but like that, and it's like the top is that. But if it falls off something and hits something and moves, but it lands on a solid number, just
Yeah,
use that
that's
number.
the number.
Okay.
It's also why we bought the tray so it doesn't fall off stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
What if it landed like that?
Then you get to re-roll it.
If it balances and
somehow-
is spinning, then we are preserving that die for study.
Yes. Then we are
And you get to use
clearly-
Paul's dice.
Well,
We are
here's the thing. You
clearly
have,
in the Inception world.
See,
Anyway,
that's what I was
back
thinking.
on track.
That's what I was
Back on
thinking.
track.
Okay.
We'll talk about dice lore later.
Aw.
You managed to hold your alcohol and enjoy it more than you thought you might.
Well, I am a bulky half orc.
Exactly. It
So.
works out great. What were you doing with the rest of your afternoon?
So, I'm gonna try to grab Kender, and see if he would be willing to set up for another performance. If he's not willing to set up for another performance, I'm just gonna set up without him.
Okay. He, after a little convincing, he grudgingly decides to go along. And you can roll me a quick performance check.
Is Ring of Rings still giving a bonus?
Yeah, you
20 total.
presuming you activate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I do. I'm sorry, I do activate it.
You add another, we'll say, 5 silver to your total from earlier.
5 silver.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 5 copper.
5
To your
copper.
total from
I was
earlier.
like, I was gonna
Yes.
say.
No.
That's a jump.
Yeah.
20, that seems fine. Make your entire fortune back again.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Were you doing something specific? I thought you started saying something and then it kind of...
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Emmeline's going to kind of wander and see some of the singing acts and stuff. Also keeping an eye out for the location.
Sure. Well, you know that location. You've already been.
Oh, that's where.
Yeah. Were you looking for anything other than that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So you're just
gonna
making
watch
sure.
the shows, drink cider. And
Sure. Okay. Then the day the afternoon slowly progresses pleasantly as you enjoy the evening in town. And the sun slowly starts to drop low in the sky, and before long you can just see the light of Aileron's twin moons starting to be visible as the sky turns from the vivid blue to navy and then toward black.
As the sun starts getting close to going down, I'm going to go back to my room and get at least make sure I'm armed.
Okay.
And armored.
Okay, so you head back toward the Bronze Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Your show carries on for as long as you would like it to, theoretically, but people seem to stop paying as much attention as it starts to darken. Partly because they're moving toward their little town dance and seem to become occupied.
As a finale, shortly after sunset, she will set the rings to start alternating back and forth between the different colors that represent the different gods.
Sure.
Then end the show fairly soon after that and head to the town dance.
Okay. You two. You guys are still back at the Bronze Butterfly drinking? Okay. So you...
Yeah, I mean, I would have been getting cider and just kind of wandering around and seeing things, and with following her around and stuff. And
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying at the tavern to drink.
no, I'm gonna get another drink to wander around the festivities more.
Yeah. As the afternoon progresses toward the evening, the festivities seem to fall off a bit more as the townsfolk head toward the dance, and those who want to keep drinking head toward the tavern.
I will probably, unless you say something. Let's go. Come on, let's see a dance thing.
Okay.
And I will head to the dance
Okay.
with drink in hand.
Sure. And I think that is actually probably a pretty good time for us to take our break.
Okay.
It's about
Okay.
10 till 6, so we're taking it a couple minutes early, but we're kind of transitioning from scene to scene. So we're going to be on break for about 20 minutes, and then we are going to come back, okay? We will see you again very soon.
Excellent.
Okay.
Nice.
And we are back from our break, everybody. And that look just a little bit more over, Charlie. We had a camera bumping incident.
I'm sorry,
Perfect.
guys.
Perfect.
We're still learning how to do this, everybody. I know it seems like we know what we're doing, or maybe not, but we don't. Okay, so
I know what I'm doing, and it's drinking.
for the break,
What you always do.
Emily, you had returned to the Bronze Butterfly
Yes.
to gather your arms and armaments.
Yes.
Are you putting them on?
I'm definitely wearing my armor. I definitely have my daggers. I'm
Sure.
debating on the rapier. Since it's a nicer weapon and like kind of artsy, I think I can get away with wearing it.
Okay.
There's been a big dwarf running around with a giant sword on his side
Yeah,
the whole
nobody
day,
seems
so...
particularly disturbed by the bastard sword-wielding dwarf.
Yeah, but the bastard sword-wielding dwarf doesn't care about his image. I do.
This is true.
Point. It's a reasonable point.
Also, who's gonna come up to that dwarf and tell him he can't wear his bastard sword?
Excuse me, sir.
Who's gonna be
no
the guy to do that?
weapons.
Okay. But yeah, you get the sense that you could probably get away with wearing a sheathed weapon. It's worth noting, said bastard sword-wielding dwarf hasn't drawn said bastard sword at
Yes.
all
Oh,
today.
yeah. And I don't want to
And
be
then there's
drawing
the
my
monk.
weapons.
Who is the weapon?
I'm about to say, I don't think anyone would really also want to come up to the monk and say anything, PC culture or not.
I think after that log throwing, I've now found the, we need to get her into the fray quickly. I'll just caber toss her right in.
So you get your armor and your weapons on and head back out to town. Meanwhile, everybody else has made their way to the dance already. And
Well, I was gonna go to the downstairs of the bronze
oh,
butterfly.
okay, you're just gonna hang out on the first floor.
Yeah.
Elves don't dance.
I
Way too regal.
dance. I have a mini and everything.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're
the
just
one
going to
person with the dancing mini isn't gonna be at the dance.
hang out downstairs.
I want to be at the dance. I just have important things to take care of.
Okay. So, we will start with everybody at the dance first. You all... Same song. I gotta figure out how to shuffle on this app.
Baby steps.
Yeah. You all get to the dance and find that it has already sort of started up. And it seems to be a lot of kind of... is it square dancing? I guess square dancing is a reasonable thing, but you know, the sort of community dances,
Communal
Like
folk
vine,
dance.
like
communal folk
vine,
dancing. Thank
vine
you.
dancing, kind
Yeah,
of.
line dancing
Line-
sorts of
yeah.
things. That it's definitely about bonding the community. You're gonna want to lean forward. It's about bonding the community together. So you know, there's a lot of like, you know, line dances where partners get switched along the way, and you kind of cycle through everybody in the line. And the music is nice. They've got a couple of musicians. Somebody in town apparently is a fairly decent violin player. And there's sort of a lute, not quite as good as the violin player, but it passes just fine. And there's children around kind of the edge of the circle, and they're all doing dances too. That's much less coordinated. But it is a merry sight. You all going to join in?
I'm going to jump right into the line.
Okay.
I'm going to... Yes, I will also join in. I'm going to jump in, not into the line. I'm going to go in and start doing some dwarven dances.
Kind of just in the middle.
Just, yeah, where there's space.
Sure.
Not going to try to, like, you know, jump in and, upstage everyone, but
Sure.
I'm going and doing some dwarven dances.
Just, yeah, okay, so you're not demonstrating so much as you're just being among them and doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm kind of showing off, but not
Sure.
doing it in a way that's trying
Yeah,
to
but you're not.
interrupt.
Yeah, you're not
like
diving into the center and
Yeah.
forcing yourself. to be
anyone
the
who's
center of
in the
attention.
area and sees me and is watching me, I'm kind of showing off to them and dancing as best I can. So
Okay.
I also, before I do that, cast guidance on myself.
Sounds good because you're about to make a performance check. So are you, Amelie? You are staying kind of out of it and just watching.
Yeah, I'm still not a people person.
That's fine. Okay. So.
But I don't mind watching. It's nice.
Tessie and
You
Ivan,
can have a
please make
feat
me
that would be applicable
performance
here.
check.
This is just annoying.
It's okay,
9.
cousin.
9. Okay.
14.
14. Yeah, you managed
Not rolling well.
to get into the line flawlessly. You have a few moments where you stumble a little bit.
I'm a halfling
Mostly
trying to
because
line dance with
yeah,
humans
you're a
that I
halfling
don't
trying
know.
to line dance with people literally twice your height. But you know, it works fine, and you have fun, and that's what really matters. And nobody seems to be upset. It's a little weirder for Ivan. A couple of times you misjudge the pattern of a dance, and somebody basically trips over you.
It's all the alcohol.
And yeah, the alcohol has some things to do with it. And people seem definitely unfamiliar with dwarven dancing, and so they're a little like put off by it.
I'm going to then stop for a second and go like, oh, no, hold on. And I'm going to finish my cider and go, now I'm ready.
Okay, make a fortitude
guide-
save, please.
Okay.
You and drunken dwarves.
Oh god.
That is a 23.
Flawless. Okay, that is probably a critical fortitude save. You actually become slightly less drunk somehow.
I'm going to
is
cast guidance on
yours.
myself again
Sounds good.
and try the dance
Okay.
second time.
You
It's exactly the same.
Nothing changes.
That's how it's done.
That happens sometimes. So yeah, you take a minute, you drink more, you
not a
recenter
dancer.
yourself. You're like, okay, I remember how this works, and you do exactly the same thing again. And it turns out that a patterned dance in the middle of another patterned dance runs into the same patterned problem. And eventually, people start like deliberately like avoiding you. The line kind of curves out behind you.
After a bit, I'll try to step into the line.
Sure.
Actually, after a bit. Nope, that's a 1. I step into the line.
God.
I do not notice that she's not dancing.
Sure.
I have no idea she's not dancing. I'm too focused on stepping into the line.
Thank God.
Okay, make one more performance check for me, please. This one with a much lower DC.
9!
It's okay. You get into the line, you don't really know what you're doing. It's obvious, and a few people are kind of like, but most people are sort of okay with it, and you have fun. And people, once it's clear that you're enjoying doing the thing that they're doing,
Should Ivan be dancing? 999!
it's a critical joke, a critical role joke.
It is actually, which I
All
didn't
the
mean
way
it to
in
be,
there.
but I'm on that episode.
It's fine. On the off chance you're watching Critical Role, people, we love you. Don't worry about it.
And we did cite you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we cited the source.
We cited our sources. Sorry.
All right.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Right. So you managed to get in on the dance.
I
It
know.
was
be
really
fair-
3 nines in a row.
To be fair,
Jesus
Critical
Christ.
Role got it from German, which we're allowed to use.
That's true. I'm not saying we're stealing Critical Role things. I'm saying it's amusing that
Yeah,
we
I know,
happen to
right?
stumble directly
I
into the center of
literally
a
saw
Critical
those
Role
jokes
joke.
earlier, like today.
Anyway, dancing.
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 So while everyone else is dancing or not dancing, as the
Glances
case may be,
Sideways
Emmeline.
with Ivan.
Yeah.
you find yourself in the first level of the Bronze Butterfly.
Mhm.
The barkeep is there, although no one else really is,
Mhm.
because everyone is out doing festival things.
Being sociable people.
Once or twice after you sit down, someone comes in, goes over, gets some ale, and then leaves.
Mhm.
But otherwise, for a little while, it's isolated.
Okay. The downstairs most likely just refers to the bar area. The downstairs. in the note.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
As far as you know, there is nothing further down than this.
Okay.
Unless you want to start doing some kind of investigation,
eh,
that's up to you.
I feel like it would have been more specific.
Yeah.
then I'm just going to get an ale, and basically anytime anybody walks into the bar, just kind of be like,
Sounds good.
like on super edge.
Do you want to disguise your edginess in any way, or?
Yeah, like obviously that was a little over
Sure.
but
Anyone who
same
walks
idea.
the door gets a dagger
I will
thrown
allow you
directly at them.
a deception roll if you wish to disguise how on edge you are.
That's 16.
16. You feel like you have enough control of your expression that it's not, you're not going to go crazy eyes on someone.
Yeah. But there's still just that kind of like, oh, there's somebody here, like kind of twitch kind of thing.
Yep.
What's up?
Oh my God! Stop!
And
I'm not on edge at all. Paul.
Listen, we're already close enough to each other, okay?
Guys, GM's making notes.
Oh God!
no, it's okay. Keep going.
Start making my next character.
Yeah, just where's the dice? Need to reroll.
This is how I feel.
Another sheet.
This is how I feel when my therapist makes notes too.
It's like,
D&D is
good,
just
the meds are coming.
a version of therapy.
In this case, the meds are daggers. Just daggers.
Please make for me
The
a
only
perception roll.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's perception. Perception's usually not terrible.
I did once know someone who hurt themselves with the perception roll.
How?
They had rolled so many ones in a row, the DM decided that they were studying a cactus too closely, poked themselves in the eye, and took 1 damage.
Spectacular. 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. As one of the people who walked in, looking drunken and in mid frivolity, walks back out with the ale. They pass by your table, and kind of out of the sleeve of their shirt, a note slides onto the table. It looks like they had kind of suspended it there, and then just a very subtle flick of their arm had gotten it out.
Okay.
A flick of the wrist.
Yes.
It just,
Really wants to follow the person. Does not follow the person.
Okay. You did notice which person it was, so if you wish to follow them, that is an option you have. When I
did you
said
roll?
use the tray, this was not what I had in mind.
in fact, these are dice catapults.
Bunch all my stuff.
Just launch it out the camera. It's 3D, guys.
Right.
So,
Coming
I will
back.
continue to wait here, make mental note of the person.
Yeah.
Anything
You didn't
stand
get
out?
a square on look. It
Well, they
looked
gave you a
like
note.
a probably elven man, who was wearing like a hat, sort of a cap kind of thing, so you couldn't necessarily see if there were elven ears. Medium tanned skin, so probably from the area. It had the complexion of the general region. Wearing dark brown for the most part, and more or less looking like maybe a farmhand or somebody working in the orchards.
Okay, but not anything necessarily like too
Yeah.
stand out.
No, in fact, he looked very average for the region.
Getting the book unlocked.
Thank you.
Alright. So, you are remaining in place?
Yep.
Okay. Moving back to those at the dance. How long do you intend to stay dancing?
Probably not too much longer because I've spent the day performing. So actually, pretty soon I'm probably gonna filter into the tavern for dinner.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that much longer because I, ran out of booze.
That's fair. And there is no booze to be had here. It seems that
I need a refill.
line dancing and alcohol are not considered compatible events.
Amateurs.
Just gonna follow him.
Okay. So eventually, you all head back toward the inn. And
I'm sorry. No.
and make your way inside, and you find Emmeline already there, sitting at a table. And otherwise, it seems reasonably quiet.
Hello, cousin.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Jumpy as fuck. You're just like, what the fuck?
Oh, somebody's having fun. How was the dance?
It was.
It was so much
It
fun.
was.
Ivan did not do well.
I did fine.
He danced.
They
like
didn't do well around me. That was the problem.
That sounds correct.
It was entertaining to watch.
That also
You
sounds
didn't
correct.
dance?
No.
Ha. It just means you need drink more.
Okay. I will take your word for it, sir.
You should take my drink for it. Come, more drink.
Okay, are you buying for you and Amelie?
No, I'm buying for me.
Okay, it's gonna be another 2 silver. Or
Silver?
I'm sorry, 2
Okay,
copper.
I'm like, what am I getting? Oh man!
I'm sorry, they made the change from Pathfinder 1 to 2, where basically silver is the new gold, copper is
I
the new
know.
silver, and I'm still getting you. I'm explaining it for the viewing audience, Charlie, who may not
Exactly,
understand.
Charlie.
I'm drunk.
Just-
I don't know these things.
It's okay, Charlie. It's okay.
Morgan wants to be stabbed.
So, two copper or so will get you enough alcohol for the next few hours at least. Are you also drinking more, or are you abstaining from this round?
I'm going to abstain.
I will mock her.
That seems fine.
It
You
will-
may roll a
it's-
performance check for that mockery, or an intimidation check. if you
I'm a
wish.
half
Or
orc
not.
monk, dude.
It's.
Bring it on.
I'm not gonna roll because it was in Dwarvish.
Sure.
Do you speak Dwarvish? I'll roll if you speak Dwarvish.
I do not speak Dwarvish.
Well, then she doesn't understand.
You understand mockery.
I do speak Dwarvish.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Oh damn.
It's, uh,
I mean, you're not trying to scare her, so it doesn't
no,
really matter.
but it is in fact an 18 on mocking her.
Yes.
It's a very
Decent
very
mocking.
witty.
Some solid dwarvish burns. Probably about her beardlessness.
Probably.
I'm just gonna be sitting there and be like, ooh, harsh.
Dwarven women have the best beards.
Calm down, man. Jeez.
It wasn't as
She just sits there with like a
mean.
scorecard.
It might have been mean. I don't know.
Anyway, so you will recall that the innkeeper did offer you free dinner.
Oh yeah, he did.
Not recall.
I recalled.
Would you like to take him up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Halfling says, yes.
Okay. Well, when you call him over and order your food, he comes back out with a fairly compelling lamb stew.
Ooh.
Which, as you know, as holiday food goes, it's not bad. It's definitely got the heartiness that is nice for early spring, without the weight that is better for winter.
A hearty meal. Yes.
I will absolutely take him up on some lamb stew.
Okay.
Yes.
The night goes on as you eat for a little while and drink, and make me one more fortitude save over there.
17.
Sounds good. You do not get any more drunk. Or nor does your drinking become debilitating.
You can't do much else, but you can make this fortitude.
And for a while, everything seems fine. The sounds of the ongoing festivities outside continue. Occasionally, someone will walk by, and you'll hear, talking voices in cheerful tones. Or in the distance, you'll hear the music pick up for a second as the bands hit a particularly bright note. But everything seems pretty much average for maybe another 15, 20 minutes. Until there is the sharp sound of a scream that comes from it sounds like a fair distance away. And then a second later, there's another one from a different direction. And then you hear a crashing sound. I would like everyone to roll perception.
See.
This is why I
You
don't
said-
use the thing.
Yeah. You said the thing didn't do anything, but it was gonna land on 17, and then it hit the wall and rolled over to a 6.
This is
It
why I
does
do.
the thing.
I rolled a 1
Randomness
in this thing.
Is random. You rolled a 1. The in this thing has nothing to do with it.
It has
this
everything
thing-
to do. This
This-
specific thing.
Exactly. I rolled a 1. This thing is cursed.
I rolled a 15. Total.
Okay. Well, give me a second. I need to pull this thing out.
1 plus.
Get it
So-
arranged.
Technically, I have a 5. That looks so cool.
Yeah. Nice. Pull this out of frame if you would.
Dave paints these
Very
by
nice.
himself.
Do. I painted these myself.
He made
Actually
them
get.
and then
He
painted
also
them.
3D prints them.
I do
Yes.
3D print
Dave does a lot of work for this. You should love Dave.
them. You don't have to instruct the stream audience to love me. It's fine.
Love him.
Passionately.
Can we roll
Shower your
diplomacy?
affections upon him.
We make a diplomacy roll for the stream to love you.
You may, if you wish, roll diplomacy, and then the stream will judge whether you rolled it well enough for it to love me.
Do we have a roll command
There we
in the
go.
stream?
No, but we should.
should get one.
We don't even have like a bot in the stream.
Oh wow.
We need to get a
Okay,
roll back so people can roll.
Oh.
Total of 8.
Nope. Turns out the stream freaking hates me. Thanks a lot for that.
No problem.
I'm rolling 1. I'm rolling 1.
Okay.
I'll use it in the thing.
For future reference, if I ever
Also-
do a set with a billion tiny chairs in it again, I'm going to tack
I'm
them
not
to
using
the
this thing.
floor.
Yeah. That's what I thought you did at first. I
Number
thought you were gonna. I thought you would set
Creepy.
up a
Okay.
shovel tavern.
Much better.
Hooray.
Maybe we just using the wrong trays.
Maybe.
Okay.
gotta
So
be it.
you all.
That's it.
The other one's down there already. I gave up on 2
See our
trays already.
minis, guys. We get to see our minis.
Oh my god.
We have not seen these minis yet. He has been deliberately
I will
keeping them from us.
Pass them down the line real quick. First, the camera has to see them because they're the ones who are watching. So this is
Also-
Yeah.
Emmeline. This is.
Just hold it up a bit more to the
Yeah,
camera. It's not really.
It wasn't visible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were too far.
Build
This is
down.
Amelie.
Here, look over at the screen. You can see it better.
Okay. This one is Tessie. And this one is Ivan. And then pass them back so I can place them, please.
Okay. It's so cool.
And I'll show off Emily.
I'm very muscular.
I am not, in any means,
That looks really cool.
an accomplished mini painter. But overall, I think I did reasonably well.
I am all about that.
Ivan, I think, came out great.
Yeah.
Back down the line.
Okay.
Combat time?
Now,
Ivan is best.
back to
me.
initiative
hit music?
tasks.
Oh man, I don't know if I have my weapons on me.
You're a bard. You'll
I
be
always
fine.
have my weapons
Huh?
on me.
You're a bard. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Need to pull out the sheet with this encounter on it.
Oh yeah, you know what I have? I have a telekinetic projectile cantrip and some
Funny
chairs.
how that works. You do have chairs.
Are the chairs one bulk?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
we're good.
Okay, so initiative. Anyone? First of all, I have to roll for these things. Is anyone above 20? Because they are.
Oh, goody.
Look. Even in this one.
Oh.
I got a 1.
Okay. Anyone above 20? No. 20 to 15?
Oh, 18.
18 and
17.
17.
And I got 15.
18
Yeah, I'm not rolling
Tessie.
I'm sorry, y'all.
17.
Love you all to death.
Emmeline.
You did.
Except not even really, because I'm still only rolling at 10.
15 Ivan.
Mm,
And
got a 1.
what's your perception score?
With 4, it's 5.
5? 5 for Amelie.
Yeah. I'm rolling out of the thing. I keep rolling 1s when I roll in the thing.
Oh my god.
I do!
Superstitious nonsense. Moving on.
I got 3 3 ones in a row after getting like above 10s like all the time.
Coming crashing through each of these windows is a humanoid figure. And the first thing you notice about them is that they are dark-skinned. Except once the light hits them everybody around here is dark-skinned. You're on the southern continent near the equator. Everything is a gradient of darkish skin except Ivan, who is pale as shit.
But he's not from around here.
They're fairly dark-skinned.
Ivan is fairest
except
of them all.
when the light hits... You're not allowed. You are not allowed to speak anymore. I'm trying to set up a creepy comment. Jesus Christ. When the light hits them, you notice that it's not that their skin is dark. It's that their skin is bark.
But
It wasn't meant to rhyme. It just came out that way. That their skin appears to be rough and woody, and there's small furrows in it, like bark pattern and wood grain. And then, as they land, in the moment before you have a chance to react, each of them lands kind of hunched forward on all fours, and these massive protrusions come out of their backs, looking like huge, curved, sharp-pointed thorns in the shape of almost spider legs coming out. And at the tips, you see a little bit of red, as though it had to pierce through their own skin, though you don't see skin, to get out. And these come through the windows.
oh god,
Oh goodness.
that's so cool.
goodness
But,
gracious
oh my
me.
god, that's terrifying.
For
Oh,
reference,
there's
I do not have a mini for the
multiple.
innkeeper because he ducks the fuck back down. And
He nopes the fuck out.
so, they go first.
Oh, good.
And this is what you get, Paul, for saying phrases like Thorn
Thorn
zombies
zombies.
to me. Although, for reference,
I was like, it's a Thorn zombie.
for reference, I was already planning Thorn zombies. you just said Thorn zombies, and I was like, oh, I can blame it on him.
Well, now you can't because you just explained it.
So you ruined my thinking,
It's
Paul.
fine. Okay, so this one first moves over Emmeline because they rolled a natural 20 on their initiative.
Can I just stay in
Oh,
that
I'm gonna
corner?
die.
You might. And then
All this time into the character.
it
Oh,
takes
I'll
a
protect you,
stab at you with its.
Will you? You look like you're standing
Oh
behind
my
me.
god, that's a natural 20.
Jesus Christ.
I need to take some of these dice out of here because this is too much room or too much taking up
no.
too much space. So that is going to be 1d6 plus 1 piercing. Okay. It's going to be for 8 piercing, and I need you to make a fortitude save, please.
Can you hear everything?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's great. And a fortitude.
Yes.
Ooh, actually, that's good. 20.
Okay. It leans forward and the arms slash out at you, and you feel them pierce past the weak points of your armor.
It's leather. It's all weak point.
Well, no, I mean, it gets joints, basically.
Yeah.
Points where the armor joins and sinks into your skin, and you feel a sort of numbing poison creep out into you.
These things are just the worst.
But you manage to hold yourself together and don't succumb to the poison. But it
Yay.
will attack again.
Okay.
Oh god.
In fact, it will attack. No, it only gets one more action because I had to move. That is much worse. That is a. Jeez. What? 10? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Not going down in the first round.
Nope. Okay. So that is that one's turn.
These things are awful. I'm just looking at the minis. These things are awful.
Oh, you've got the stream down there?
That's so cool.
I pulled up a thing so we can
You
see
can
the
see
board,
the board better?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So this one is going to move. It has the leap. It jumps from this table to this table.
They both go first.
Yeah, I mean they go on the same initiative because it's just easier that way. Then hops down behind Ivan and makes an attack at him. That is ye old natural 1.
Yeah.
And so it
Is
will
it a-
attempt it.
Is that a critical failure? Or
It's a
does
critical failure.
does it- does
but
it-
there, it has no critical failure effect. It's a
Okay.
normal melee attack. On its second attack, that is 18 minus 4 is 14. Which is a miss, I assume?
Nope.
Okay. That is them done. Tessie, you are up.
All right. First, I'm going to start singing.
Okay.
And as I'm singing, I am inspiring my group members.
Inspiring courage.
Yep.
Okay.
Inspiring courage.
We'll
And
make note that you are inspiring courage.
as I
As the
continue
music
singing,
swells.
I will wave my hand toward Emmeline,
Mhm.
sending a glittering light around her in a forbidding ward to protect her specifically from this dude.
Sounds good. That gives you +2 ACs and +2 to save, or is it +1?
+1.
+1 to AC and saves against that guy.
Nice.
And that is
Yeah, because of the Inspire Courage.
Against that one dude.
Yeah, no, I forbidding. No, it was a separate spell. I set up a
No,
forbidding ward.
but she has Inspire Courage.
Inspire courage is to
Just
fear
attacks.
Oh, okay, never
saves
mind.
against fear and attacks
Yeah.
and damage.
But forbidding ward, it sets up a protection for one
Sweet.
specific ally against one specific enemy.
Okay, and that's all 3 of your actions, correct?
Yes.
Emmeline, your little halfling new buddy or new acquaintance, just saying some magic onto you. And this thing is looking real creepy in front of you.
Yes, it is. Also looking really stabby.
It looks moderately stabbable. It is made of wood.
Oh, it looks like I'm gonna stab it.
Sounds good. You're gonna stab it and find out how stabbable it is.
We will apply science. I want to move so that I'm flanking with my Tessie, my new ally.
Okay. You're gonna take a step action.
Yep.
Okay. Gotta untangle you from its weird spider arms.
So that it can tangle me in its weird spider arms again next turn.
Yes.
Okay.
More weird,
And
more
so
spiders,
that's one action.
more arms.
I could feint and trying to. Oh, I'm flanking, so it's already counted.
Yeah, it is already flat-footed.
Okay. So I will stab at it.
Okay.
That's a 12, 13. 13.
13. That will miss. Would you like to make another stab?
Considering my hit points, I'm going to raise my parry dagger to increase my
Okay.
AC by 1.
Using essentially the raised shield action?
Yes.
Okay. I've noticed there's a couple of questions in the chat about the mechanics of this fight. I will happily stick around and answer some questions after the game tonight because I
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
this might be confusing for some people. Emmeline, that is your turn done. Ivan, big scary thing come up behind you. What stab you with arms?
Oh no, arm stab. I will. I draw my sword. I guess
Okay.
my first action.
Just the sword?
yes.
Okay.
And I'm a guidance myself,
Okay. Second action.
and I'm a chop.
I will note guidance is not stacking with inspire courage.
No.
That's right, it doesn't. So never mind. I will not guidance myself. Can I draw my sword and shield as one action?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay. In that case,
I'm sorry.
I mean, combat,
I will
any
draw
combat-
my sword and my shield.
Okay.
I'ma slash this bitch.
Sounds good.
Cut a
him.
bitch.
I'm gonna cut you.
I spin around. Okay.
No.
No, I will not slash this bitch.
There's no cut.
That's a 9.
That is not enough to
10,
slash any bitch.
10, but
Girl, I will
and
cut you.
then I will use my raised shield,
Okay.
and I turn around and just go, ah, suka, and just swing wildly.
You strike out with your sword as you know, flailing it almost more than slashing, and it sort of bounces off of the shoulder on the broad side so that it doesn't actually cut. But you do notice that this thing does not seem to have any meaningful reaction to the sudden presence of a sword. It's kind of dead-eyed.
Almost zombie-ish.
Almost zombie-ish,
If you will.
if you will. That brings us to Amelie.
That bitch is attacking my cousin.
That is
I
true.
hate. Listen, I'm prefacing this with the fact that Amelie hates spiders. Like legit.
That's true.
Hates spiders.
Morgan's particularly fond of them, though.
Shut up.
All
I'll
those
cut you.
eyes. So many pretty eyes to look at.
They have eyes. More spiders.
That's true.
So I'm gonna try to
Okay, you gonna move up?
move up and tackle it.
Where around it would you like to be?
Um,
Punch it in the face.
and I threw it on the ground. I'd like to run up like where the chairs are because that's like the most.
Do you want to be on the table? Do you want to be between the chairs?
Can I jump up on the table and then onto the thing? That'll put me like in an A.
If you're attempting to grapple it, yeah,
Yes.
you can take that path.
That'll be like
so that you
one-
are here.
You want
To
to
attempt the
grapple
grapple
the
check.
horrible bark spider?
Yes, because it's attacking my cousin and I'm angry.
Hug it.
I don't
Give it
make-
hugs.
Not only that, my wisdom is at my wisdom is at 12.
12's not bad. 12's good enough to know that don't hug the evil bark spider.
I'm angry. It's attacking my cousin. Now
Embrace
shush.
it. Embrace
Take
the
your action.
darkness.
Table talk during combat. No, don't worry about what other people are doing.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I'm just saying. You've got your actions. She's got her actions.
Exactly.
Grapple away.
All right. So wait, should I make a
Fucking
an acrobatics
spiders.
check to get onto the table?
Goodness.
Yeah, if you or athletics, you can also
I'm gonna
just
do
kind of
athletics.
vault up. Yeah,
Arrested.
That's a 17 for athletics,
easily enough.
and then to grapple,
Is also athletics.
it's a 9.
That is not enough.
Damn.
You dive forward, and it's just a tangled mass of limbs that shouldn't be there.
That was
you
my
were
s-
not trained for that.
Wait,
That was your second action. For your
was my second
third,
action.
you could
That was a
attack
10.
or flurry or drop into tiger stance.
I'm gonna drop into tiger stance.
Okay.
Actually,
You take on your.
yeah, I'm gonna drop into tiger stance. That's probably like
you
the
raise
smartest
your
thing.
hands, taking on your aggressive pose,
Okay.
getting ready for your next set of strikes.
Okay.
And that brings us back to the top, where we have the Thorn zombies.
Yeah.
Or zombies.
The one here seems to notice that there is new prey, and that this prey is not entertaining enough. So it turns.
Aren't they on the floor now? Because I tried to tackle.
Are
it.
you
No,
not
you stayed on the
entertained?
table. You couldn't get on top of it, so there's nowhere for you to go.
Okay.
And it turns toward the halfling. And rolls not terrible. It's a 16 to hit.
Nope.
That misses.
60. Nope.
That's even worse.
Yay.
Oh, okay. That's a 17 to hit. No, wait. I'm sorry. Hang on.
Check my math.
8 is
but I
9,
think
18
it's
to
a-
hit.
Check my math. Oh, yeah. Well, yes.
That is it. Yeah, that'll hit. Okay. So you take. Actually, that's actually the wrong die for that. You take 4 points of slashing damage, and please make a fortitude save.
That's way better than the 8 points I took earlier.
Natural 20 for
Okay.
a total of 24.
You too feel this sickly, like numb feeling coming from the points where the arms pierce you. But you manage to keep moving. You find that as long as you stay in motion, it doesn't really seem to have enough time to concentrate in any particular place. And now we'll see if Ivan manages that.
Oh boy.
Nope, that's a 2. That's another 2. Can we go for the trifecta? No, but still not anywhere near good enough. That's like a 12.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep your shield up in that moment of initial panic, when you raised your shield, you just keep it in place and you hear clang, 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 clang as arms start lashing out wildly to try and get around your shield. But you're too damn short. It cannot get past it to you. And that brings us to Tessie.
All right, I am going to recast Inspire Courage and then send out 2 magic missiles, 1 to each of these fuckers.
Okay. 1 to each. Okay.
So,
Please roll 2d4.
So to the guy nearest me.
This will be Ivan's. And that'll be the one nearest you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you have a second d4? Never
Yeah, I
mind.
do. I keep
Okay.
them up.
So purple is nearest, pink is
Yep.
furthest? Okay.
So the guy nearest me is. Oh, wait, this is my Inspire Courage.
Plus 1 each. No,
Okay.
this isn't an attack roll. That's a spot.
4.
4 and then 5?
Yeah, and then 5, yeah.
Okay. So that's 15. Okay. So you start your song, and then in a single gesture, you almost do this kind of air guitar thing, and then bring your hand out and project missiles out towards each of them. And they get fairly solid hits. It doesn't seem like they're reacting quite like you might expect something to. But it works out fine.
I'm digging your song, Sherry.
Yes, this is the Bard's fault. Emmeline.
Didn't have any
I
action.
don't know why this is in
songs.
this playlist, but it works with the Bard
great.
going.
Yes, it does.
It's a good song. It's just not exactly fantasy combat.
It's stabbing time.
Stab away.
How do you feel? Are you still getting bonus for me?
That's what I
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
19 to
renewed
hit.
that.
Sorry?
19.
to hit.
That'll hit.
We
You do get sneak attack.
Stabby, stabby,
do
stab.
get sneak attack. What?
How does he get sneak attack? Is he flanking?
He's flanking.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
He's flanking
I
with Tessie.
I just assumed it wouldn't do anything to him.
You assumed incorrectly, Paul.
8 plus 2 is 10.
10? Okay. You get a decent stab at it, and it looks like it's not too happy about that. That was a very solid hit.
All right. So after lunging at it with my rapier, I'm gonna follow up with my parry dagger
Okay.
for a second strike.
Sounds good.
Ooh, here we go. That is 27 minus 5, so
22.
22.
That's on your second strike? Yeah, that hits.
So I still get sneak attack.
Yes.
Ooh, this one's gonna be even better. 8, 13.
13. Okay.
And
How, describe for me how you murder this thing.
so it kind of turns its attention away and starts to move onto Tessie. So kind of gauging where it's after doing its slash. I'm gonna try and catch it with the rapier in the lower back, and then follow up with like an uppercut going up the spine, basically, sever it.
Okay. Yeah, you manage to get your blade in deep, and as it slides up, it's tougher than you had expected. There's definitely a sort of fibrous quality to it, but you slide up, and there isn't a spine in there.
Oh.
But dark sap oozes out over your blade, and the thing slumps forward.
These things are awful.
As it slumps forward, though, there's this sort of flash of energy. You can't even really see it so much as feel it wash over you. It's this sickly sense of energy. As its little buddy looks less injured than he did a second ago.
Ugh. No.
What?
The one next to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
For my
It seems as though its death healed its friend.
Oh,
Oh.
good.
However, it is indeed dead. If I can unhook it from things. Didn't contemplate the logistics of spider arms in tiny places.
I mean, if we're making a mess of the the room. It's almost like we're making a mess
I know.
of the room.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just getting it unhooked from the other minis.
Okay. For my final action, I would just like to make horrible.
They're the
They're
worst.
horrible. I would like to make an occultism check to kind of get an idea.
Make
of-
sure you lean forward. So that
Yeah. I would like to make an occultism check to try and get brain.
What they are?
Brain.
Yeah, kind of get a feel of the magic and like
Sure.
compare it to things that I've seen
Sounds
of this
good.
nature before. Ooh. 23.
Okay. Yeah. This is definitely some bizarre variation on undead. It's certainly. Oh, by the way, you feel a prick on your arm. I forgot to mention that.
These are sentient?
These are sentient.
Yay!
And
That's-
this knowledge roll says that shouldn't be a thing.
Oh dear.
Okay.
These are
that's
sentient is not usually something you want to hear after your friend just murdered something.
Yes.
Oh, good. These are sentient. Oh, this. I'm sure this won't lead anywhere bad later.
Yes, these you learn in this moment that these are sentient, some version of undead, but definitely not the sort of undead you have ever heard of.
Yeah.
Clearly, it seems. I mean, their bodies seem human-ish, but they clearly were constructed from some kind of plant fiber, and also full of stabby dog.
Yeah. Cool. So like probably flinches at pain on arm, but I'm behind a dying spider thing, so people probably don't.
Sure.
So.
Okay, that is you done, Ivan.
Can I drop my shield as a free action?
Sure.
Okay. I drop my shield in the process of grabbing my sword with two hands, and I'm gonna swing at this bastard two-handed.
Okay.
That is a 24.
Okay. That will hit.
All right. That's. And the song gives me +1 to damage too, right?
Yes.
8 damage.
Okay.
All
You
hail the bard.
swing out, you drop your shield, gaining confidence as you hear and sort of glance out of the corner of your eye the sound of the other one falling. And although that wave of energy felt real wrong to you, you shake it off and grab your blade and slash out for a real solid hit on it.
Okay. I am going to now swing again.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a 21.
Total?
Yeah.
That'll hit.
All right.
Oh, yeah. That would
Yes.
be so much easier to do.
Speaking of 2, that is 6 damage.
6? Okay. As you get your solid cleave through, you come back around and go for like the rib cage for what you think is going to be a killing blow. And it sinks in, but you find that there just isn't the structure you expect under there. And the sword just kind of sticks for a second and doesn't really like. You were going to crack between ribs and get organs, and there are neither ribs nor organs.
Would a religion check be able to tell me anything about this?
You could find out. Yes, religion would be a relevant skill unless you have occultism.
I want to roll to see if I can know whether or not these things might be hurt by positive energy.
That's good.
Okay.
Nice.
That is a 26.
The two things Ivan can do:
To know
drink
if
and religion.
my math.
Definitely seems like an undead creature of some kind, and your knowledge says undead creatures are hurt by positive
Okay.
energy. The plant fiber shell messes with the math a little bit, but on fundamental principle, it should
Okay.
work.
Does a spell attack still get the minus?
Yes.
Okay, so switching to a spell wouldn't actually
Wouldn't negate the multiple attack.
Okay. Let me look up quickly if whether or not heal is a save or an attack.
Sure.
Sorry, guys, just looking up a thing quickly.
How dare you? How dare you, Charlie?
As it turns out, we're
So,
playing with a
real
brand
quick to
new
answer the question
system.
on links, we do have links banned in the chat since we have a second here. But if you whisper the link to a mod, which should be listed in the chat, if you whisper the link to the mod, they are allowed to post it. So there's that.
Okay, so this is not a spell attack. It is just a fortitude save, it looks like.
Okay, then
It
yeah, that
says-
is not an attack.
Target is undead. You deal that amount of positive damage to it, and it gets a basic fortitude save.
Okay. Normally, making that religion roll would have taken an action.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have an action to do this.
Does that take an action for that then? To
In this
recall
case,
that?
because I didn't mention it at the time, and that was a very basic question. Does healing hurt undead? I'll allow it in this particular instance. But in future, just know that making a check to identify qualities on a monster is an action.
Okay.
So they're going to make a fortitude save, which they will
There's a DC of 17.
fail.
Okay. That does another 6 damage as
Okay.
I touch it and infuse it with positive energy.
You hit it, and you feel the glow go into it, and the spot around your hand sort of heats up and almost chars, and you get the scent of wood smoke. But you've never fought undead like this before yourself, but you've definitely heard stories of it. It doesn't seem like it did as much as it should have.
Okay.
So it seems like positive is hurting them, but not as much as your average undead. Okay. So that puts us on Amelie.
Like somebody get a fire stick.
Can I try to Tiger Slash the last one?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll need an action to move, but then you've got your flurry of blows ready. You also do have your key strike. You can even just
Is
kind
that
of
positive energy?
no, but it's
Energy.
punchy energy.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be good, or you can make it good or lawful, I believe,
Okay.
if you want, but mostly just energy.
No. That is a 12.
On the first hit,
15, but still.
Well, 13, but yeah.
that is not enough.
Okay.
Remember your key strike also gives you a +1 to the hit,
Oh, so 14.
so 14, but still no.
Okay. It's a little better. That's 14, 15, 16.
But it's -5.
Minus 5, so
-4
12.
because you're agile.
13.
Okay, still no.
Damn.
You do
that's-
still have one more attack if you'd like it.
Oh, what I do?
Yeah,
Didn't I
'cause,
take one action to move? Or?
One action to move, one action to flurry of blows,
Okay.
and then you still have one more action to attack.
Okay. All right. 12 and 17 is 19 minus 8, right?
Yes, minus
11.
8, so 11. Yeah.
11. Yeah. So 9.
So you lash out, and you're working on the same principles of pressure points and joint weaknesses that you have on every opponent you've ever faced, and these should be working. But when you hit, you just kind of feel a dull thud, and you hear little creak sounds as you can't seem to find a spot that works against this opponent.
Okay.
That puts us at the Thorn zombie.
Yeah.
And it is tired of mean dwarves. And it has more important prey at the moment anyway. It takes a leap.
Leap of faith.
Uh-oh.
Believe me, I am never doing spider-armed things in the middle of this many friggin' objects again.
Oh, it's after me. No. I should have raised my bear dagger. I'm on the other side of the room. Who needs to raise their bear
It
dagger?
literally just vaults in place like it has a special ability to do so. Across the room and lands next to you. And then
Good
makes its
jumping
first attack.
spiders.
They are jumping spiders.
Jumping thorn zombie spider thing.
That's pretty good. That's going to be a 27.
No, actually, that doesn't hit.
Weird. 28 and 26 both hit, but 27 specifically. It's
Yeah, I just immune to 27. Yeah, no, that exists.
DR rolls of 27.
What's your
It's
AC?
not critically
It's not critically succeeded. Okay,
I
that's
have
the
a 20
important
right
question. 20. Okay. Oh wow, that's really good.
Well, I'm getting bounced off later.
Yeah. Oh, and that was against the guy that died.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's a specific enemy.
It still does not because I have 8.
Okay.
It's just very close.
Cool. So that is 5 plus 1 is 6 piercing, and please make a fortitude save.
Still alive.
Please fail the fortitude save.
I don't want to fail.
I want to use these guys' special abilities once before they friggin' die.
No, have mercy die. It hasn't done the thing. No. Yeah, I failed it. 9.
Okay.
Oh,
You,
well, 11. But
Yeah.
999.
you feel it pierce you. It leaps over, comes down, and its legs like come down first and nail you in the shoulders. And you feel that venom pump into your veins, and suddenly your body stiffens up. You are paralyzed.
Way. I mean, I would have been down at the next attack anyway, so it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad.
Oh dear.
And then it gets
A red circle of death.
its last attack.
So why does it have more?
Because it 1 action to jump, 2 action, 1 action to attack, 1 action to attack again.
So paralyzed
Just with your
means he has
logic.
no actions?
Yes.
And it's flat-footed, I
You have
assume?
no actions and you are flat-footed, yes.
That sucks.
That's not even close to enough, though. So,
Thank God.
Yeah, since your AC is based on dex.
oh, I forgot. I
Oh
forgot.
fuck.
Yup. When it hits you, as you feel the venom course into you, you feel the weakness that the venom is giving you almost seem to leech away from you.
Wait, sorry, what?
You feel weakness overtake you from the numbness, right? And it almost feels like it's leeching away from you. As some of the wounds, the grievous, giant friggin' cleaver sword wounds that Ivan inflicted begin to close on.
Oh, okay.
It would seem that
sucks.
paralyzing you heals it.
More.
Oh dear.
Tessie,
Okay.
I just wanted to do that once. I designed that ability. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understandable.
Shit. I had a couple of plans about what I was gonna do this turn, and they're all out the fucking window. Let me think. I am going to start out with Forbidding Ward.
Okay.
These two,
Save the rogue! Save the rogue!
and
Nah.
so
Better die.
she starts singing, waves her hand toward Emmeline.
Okay.
More glittering light shoots out and surrounds her. And go for broke. 1 magic missile.
You sang and you forbidding ward?
Oh shoot, no, I don't have enough.
Yeah, that would be all 3 actions. Sing and forbidding ward.
Forbidding ward is somatic and verbal.
Right. And I thought you also said you were inspiring.
No. I
Okay,
was
then you
using-
could use 1 magic missile, yes, as a
Yeah.
spontaneous caster. Okay.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
The singing was the verbal.
Sure. My bad. Whenever you said sing, I was
Yeah.
just kind of programmed to assume that was
Yeah.
inspired courage.
4.
4? Okay. You sling out the energy again, and it hits it square in the chest, and it seems to sort of knock it back a bit, and it's looking rough. There's sap just kind of oozing down its surface in a lot of places. And that puts us back at Emily.
Yeah. I'm gonna back up.
You're paralyzed, right?
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
paralyzed. You
I
don't get a
get
turn. You do get a fortitude save though.
Oh, okay, so I get that.
Ah, damn, I should have guidance.
Ooh,
Nice.
23.
Nice.
Okay, you save. You are no longer paralyzed.
So how many actions do I have remaining?
None. But
that sucks.
at the end of your turn, you get the fortitude save to not continue to be paralyzed. So you are.
You were out of the red circle of death.
Yes. No more red circle of death.
Yay.
Just normal death.
Just normal death. Just red pointy things of death over here.
I'm sitting at like 4 hit points.
Ivan.
I am. I'm debating on. I'm gonna charge over to it.
Okay.
and I'm gonna slash with my sword, and I'm gonna charge if I can to be next to Emmeline, whatever.
From this angle, you can't really because it's attacking diagonally to get Emmeline.
Okay.
Because
Then-
of the way it landed and the way the table and chairs.
I am going to move over. I am going to guidance myself,
Okay, so that's an action to move, an action to guidance.
and I'm going to slash it.
Sounds good.
That is a 21.
Okay, that will hit.
Have not been getting good damage rolls with this. 7 damage.
Yeah, you didn't need good damage rolls. It literally was impossible.
Yeah.
Okay.
thought so.
Okay, describe it for me, please.
All right. I swing around behind it, and as it's focused, on Emmeline here, I just raise my sword up and just cleave down and cleave it right in half,
Okay.
splitting it open.
Yeah. You do almost like a fireman's axe kind of raise and chop down, and it hits it square in the center of the back, and you feel like a creaking sensation as the wood splits open and sap just pours out.
Can I roll a religion to see if the sap is gonna like do anything if it hits any one of us?
You could roll a nature.
Nature. Okay.
Battle music.
I'm gonna aid another with Bardic Lore.
It's a 16.
You cannot aid another
Oh.
Bardic Lore. Bardic Lore only applies to recall knowledge checks.
I
Hidden
forgot
Other is a
about that.
different action.
Noted.
You may also make a recall knowledge check if you wish, though.
What did you get on your nature check?
Immediately speaking, it doesn't seem like it's a desperate threat to you.
Okay.
All right, then I will recall knowledge with Bardic Lore.
Okay. What are you trying to get out of this?
What the fuck these things are, and I didn't roll well enough, so it's
Sure.
10.
Yeah. Some kind of dead thing, maybe. Some kind of tree man, maybe.
Can I try
Some
to
kind of
figure
dead
it
tree man, maybe.
Possibly.
Okay.
What's that?
Can I try to figure it out?
You could use like occultism or religion.
I'll use religion.
I'm going to do the same.
Okay.
I got
I'm going to
a
guidance myself and then do it.
12.
12? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get about the same.
I got 20
It's like
to see if I know what these are.
you have never heard of something exactly like this. It is
Okay.
clearly some variation of undead. It seems like properties from maybe some kind of ghoul
Okay.
have been worked into it, but it's definitely something that you are unaware of specifically.
I assume you're out of rounds?
Yes, we are out of rounds.
Okay. I'm going
Shortly after combat ends, as the last one falls to the ground, you're still hearing screams coming from outside, and there's this thud as a foot kicks the inn's or the tavern's door open, and the same
Finish what you're
okay,
saying.
and the same armored man that you two had talked to earlier comes through wielding a bastard sword in front of him, and that sword is just like dripping with the sap.
Dude's a bad.
And the holy symbols that are ingrained on like the shoulder pauldrons are glistening as though he's been channeling some magic recently.
Nice.
And he looks around real quick, clearly having seen these things come in at some point in the past, but only just now getting over here, and peers at all of you and nods slightly.
Hi.
Stay here. I'll be back.
Are there more?
I
Do
think
we
we got
need
them.
kill more?
I think we got them. Wait. And then he turns and walks back out. And a few moments later, you hear another sword strike, like somewhere maybe 30, 40 feet away.
I am.
And then a pause. And then he walks back into the room. Yes, got them all.
I'm gonna walk over to her and be like,
Fine.
all right, let's see how bad you is.
Real quick,
Yeah.
just to jump back a few things. I had rolled a 13 on my occultism.
Mhm.
You can give me this information if you want later.
Sure.
But I also am applying identity modification for the cult stuff.
Applying what now?
I took identity identification for or
Oddity identification? Okay. I was like, identity modification? What?
I mean, these
I'm
things.
having
You
a
are-
stroke.
It's fine.
These
You are
things.
modifying your
He thought that
identity.
the identity of these things was weird enough, but he's making it even odder. It's-
Yeah.
Well, he
Thanks,
has been
Paul, for
poisoned.
giving the GM ideas.
Oddity identification.
Okay.
So 15. Specifically looking at that from a, hey, this looks like cult stuff.
Yeah,
This looks
this
like
looks like-
specific cult
This
stuff.
looks like specific cult stuff.
Did you take that thing that gives you sometimes wrong
The dubious
information?
knowledge.
Dubious
I
knowledge?
didn't have room for dubious knowledge.
No.
I'll get it at level 4.
This looks like specific cult stuff.
I'm gonna roll.
She's
I rolled
doing
a,
real bad, by the way.
17. 17 for medicine. I want to try to see if I can help Emmeline.
I'm
Okay.
going to if you start doing that, I'm gonna basically stop you and be like, let me look first. This is what I do.
She's my cousin.
This is what I do. You said you rolled a 17.
I rolled a 16 and plus 1 to medicine.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
That's a 21
Okay.
to treat.
Basically, this
The
comes out to
treatments.
one person doing it and another person aiding another. So
Yeah.
between you, you succeed.
Okay.
And that treats 2d8
2d8.
hit points of damage.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Treat
Each
wounds.
of you roll a d8 because you were both involved.
Sure. Treat wounds is like really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
actually.
quite good.
How much did you roll?
3.
I got 5. So that's
Total of 8.
Kill 8. How are you looking now?
I'm no longer looking like death. I'm just looking
Haggard?
I am
dead.
going to take my lantern out.
Uh-huh.
So you see me unhook this lantern from my belt. I whisper a word in Dwarvish, and it lights on fire. And I'm going to close. It's a hooded like bullseye lantern, and I'm going to close the hood and shine it on.
Mhm.
What color does it change to?
How much hit
12
points?
out of 18.
12 out of 18. A pale chartreuse. So greenish yellow, not too bad. It does notably lack the colors or the patterns that would indicate poison or disease.
Okay.
So this thing didn't leave anything permanent or long lasting.
Okay. I'm going to shine it on her and her as well.
Okay.
Just gonna sheen,
I believe both of you are uninjured, correct?
Yes.
Tessie, you take.
I'm
hit,
down a
didn't you?
couple hit points.
Okay,
I'm down to
but-
11.
Okay.
But, oh yeah, overall pretty good. Though.
Yeah.
In which case, I'm gonna.
Tessie could probably benefit from a quick heal.
I'm down
of some
4 hit
kind.
I'm going to go up to her and be like, and you're like, still look a little rough. And I'm going to whisper some more words in Dwarvish, hold up my holy symbol, and like kind of gesture at you with it. And use my other heal using 2 actions,
Sure.
which is you heal another 10.
Dang. Yeah. No.
Because the 2-action version is 1d8 plus 8.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
1 is 1d8,
2 action heal.
2
real good.
is 30 feet, 1 is touch and 1d8, 2 is 30 feet and 1d8 plus 8, and 3 is a 30-foot AoE that hits everything.
And it's just 1d8, correct?
And it's just 1d8. And I'm going to walk up to her and just do another treat wounds check.
Sure.
This time with my +1 from the thing.
The healing is
Um,
greatly appreciated.
23.
Okay. You also heal 2d8.
How much were you missing?
4.
4.
It's
Okay,
almost
so unless I
impossible
roll
for
2
you
1,
not
yeah,
to.
that's plenty.
Yeah.
So and I just kind of bandage her things quickly.
Thank you. You're quite skilled at medicine.
Yeah.
Duh.
yeah.
And
He
you
works
add-
efficiently with confidence and experience.
What does your light do?
It shows if you are hurt. You were hurt. Well,
Yeah.
Spoilers.
As it turns out, horrible.
it was
Thorn's
gift from friend.
are
It shows damage, poison, disease, things like that.
It's a remarkably handy item.
When you have the
Duh.
time, would you tell me what the different colors mean?
More red is bad.
I see.
More green is good. I shouldn't say that. A voice behind you whispers, more green is good.
She saw it shine upon herself and be fully green, so
Actually, my skin is brown.
The light.
Gee, you haven't drank the blood of Manaroth.
Dear Blizzard, please don't sue us. We didn't mean it. Right.
I feel like we're now
Everybody's
explicitly
done
going to
healing.
get sued.
We can get back to Henry.
Yes.
Back to Hendrik.
He stands there and watches as you tend to the wounds. Seems to understand. Well,
All things.
really,
Yes. This is their work.
astute observation.
I can tell you, I know a lot about undead things. This, not something I've heard of.
Nor me. Well, you seem to have acquitted yourselves well here.
Any others need help?
For the moment, the town is secure.
Hmm.
I've already sent my messenger for reinforcements. Should more arrive. Are you, by chance, available?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Like, right now or in general? I need sleep.
Yes, after that.
Okay, then yes.
Well. Yeah, I suppose so.
Perhaps you might see if you can find out where these things are coming from.
Did they just run into town, or?
They emerged from the woods to the south. Came through the orchards, in fact.
How many were there?
Counting these two, 7.
That's more than I can handle.
That seems like
Died at 2.
too many. Let's reduce numbers more, yes?
I think we should take a sample from one of them.
As keepsake.
No, if we can do more tests on it, I think it might be helpful.
Do we know how to
What
do those
test
tests?
would you do? Does town have alchemist?
No. Why would we have an alchemist?
Because one wandered through for festival. I don't know. Why does town have cleric and paladin? I don't know.
Town is a cleric.
Hi.
Oh, yes. Well, you don't belong to the town.
No, but
Yes.
I am here now. If there is alchemist, maybe he would know more.
No. Nearest alchemist, as far as I'm aware, is in Athelport.
Hmm.
Uh,
Out of curiosity, might seem really random, but I just remembered I have this skill and I want to use it. Heraldry lore.
Sure.
I just want to know if this guy has, like, noble lineage or anything like that. I don't roll very well. I rolled a 2.
Total?
No, it was a 6 total.
If he has heraldry, it's not desperately prominent.
Okay.
So off the top of your head, you don't recall it.
Not that it has anything to do with
Yeah.
what's going on now.
if we have the means to collect samples, then maybe if we have the means to test them later, or if we think we might run into someone who has the means to test them later. Otherwise, I don't know.
Let me put it this way. The sooner you leave, the better. I'll send word for an alchemist on these.
Okay. I will leave it alone then.
I can promise the Regency will reward you for
I
your
take
assistance in this.
you as an actual Kriegsguard, yes?
Yes.
Official kind, yes?
Captain of the local regiment.
Excellent. I do trust you in matters then with figuring out what these are. Any information on where we can go would be good. I'm mostly just, well,
Aside
South,
from South?
there's the orchards. Beyond that, a few isolated houses, shacks, really. Beyond that,
Did
if you're
these-
going directly south, there's a village a few
these
miles
did not
out.
approach from some direction. Come,
They would have scattered in the orchards. The trees are dense enough there that original direction would be lost.
so they
Hey.
use tactics.
No, I'm saying that They had to go around trees. We cannot tell what original direction they came from because they changed directions to go around trees.
So I guess head to the orchards.
Head through the orchards.
They came from orchards. Okay.
Came through the orchards to the south.
Like, I rolled.
South eliminates 3 directions.
I was gonna say I rolled fairly well on nature and on religion. I guess part of the reason I want to take a sample is to see if it came from a specific tree or if that's important, or if that will at least tell us where they
That's
came from.
really interesting. You rolled a nature check. What's
Yes.
your nature check?
Forgot what it was, so I'm gonna roll again. Is that
Sure.
okay? That is now a 12. So
Total of 12.
yeah.
It's a fairly light wood,
Okay.
possibly apple.
I'm
Okay.
not any good at nature.
So, but yeah, I think that at least could tell us where they might have come from,
Sure.
or whether yeah. Okay. So I'll take a piece of the bark.
Hey, that's a Dutch 20 for 24 on my nature check to know.
Are you trained in nature?
No.
Possibly apple?
Okay.
I mean, it looks kind of like applewood. You don't have training to
I
really
didn't pick up an
distinguish.
applewood stone.
Yes, it looks similar to that.
Okay.
But you don't have training in
Yeah.
the details. But it looks very similar to that. So
Yeah.
your guess would be applewood.
Also, can I roll a religion check to see if there's anything that has to do with?
Sure.
I'm trying.
We've done a lot of religion so
This
far.
is just like, I need details. Give me all
I
of
think,
it.
I think the answer is
Walk
we
down the
should
list.
go south through the orchards and then we can roll for details.
Wait, hang on. I want to roll
So-
heraldry on the
I mean-
thorn zombies.
I'm trying to
nobles,
figure
all of
things
them.
out.
As it turns out,
From well,
in fact,
well,
they were your parents, Paul.
all 7 of them.
Oh,
I'm gonna go upstairs and get my weapons while they're doing this.
I am going to go. I need rest.
Is there any chance you can rest on the way?
It is
The
late
sooner we
though.
leave, the better.
We have no idea if these will strike again. I have to be here if they do. Or I would go myself.
Correction, I'm gonna go upstairs and get all my gear.
I go.
I appreciate your service, particularly another holy man of the Marshal.
Well, these seem like good fight. Marshall would appreciate the blade
One can
gleaming
only
with
hope.
sap for a bit, I think.
Do well, and perhaps there will be a spot in the garden for your victory.
We'll see what's left of them, maybe.
Okay. He turns and walks back out. You can tell as he does, he's limping a little bit. He may have killed several of these things. It did not go easily. And he probably wasn't doing it alone.
I'm going to shine my lantern on him.
He's at like maybe half health.
So I'm gonna like, before you go, let me look at leg.
If you must.
Hey, that's a natural 20.
That's 48.
So.
Nice rolls too.
19 health is healed on him.
That's a lot less damage now.
I like how just like randomly treating the wounds is like double the healing of my magical healing spell.
Yeah, but it also takes 10 minutes.
Yeah. And you can only do it once an hour.
Yeah.
But-
So I mean, it takes massively more time to perform that
Yeah.
function than to
So
just magically hit.
I then, take the time to properly bind his wounds, clean them, do the whole
Sure.
thing for 10 minutes. And
He looks impatient as you do, but not ungrateful. He's not. It's not like he's being rude about being ungrateful for the assistance. Oh, shit. But he does look like he feels the weight of duty to get back to guarding against whatever threat this is.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So when you are finished, he thanks you and keeps
Ah.
walking.
Quick, gather the gear.
It's important to be healthy to get back in fight.
Hey, Sherry,
Yes, Dave.
do you want to roll? I don't know, straight intelligence or something?
I might want to do something like that.
Yeah, or wisdom. Take your pick.
I'm a roll wisdom, even though they're both the same,
Sure.
just because reasons.
Because
19 total.
Hey, where's your brother?
Fuck.
Oh no.
You know, it's like I'm gonna.
And on that point, I think we'll end for the evening.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh. Thank you all so much for coming to our first episode of Have Dice Will Save. On behalf of the team, we desperately appreciate you taking the time to spend it here with us. Until that, we'll be back same time next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And until then, keep your friends close and your dice closer.